city's biggest conversation.
(6:26), Diana Hamilton with a beautiful praise medley, welcoming you to the penultimate day of the month of January. A great blessing to be alive in the year 2025, the year of our Lord. He's almost seen us through. Indeed, he has seen us through the month. We've survived January, so we are survivors. The fabled, notorious, much maligned January. Some say January has 35 days. Some even think it's 40. 5 weeks, but we're still here. The year is taking off smoothly. We're grateful to God for His grace. We're so blessed to have you listeners making this network the preferred option for the discerning listener. Starting the show with a beautiful song. It's a real platform for conversation, deep thought, reflection, questions. It's called Discourse in the Public Sphere. It's part of the oxygen of a democracy. We're grateful to all and sundry who support us daily with comments, requests, feedback, music, and all the things that make Ghana's radio network a beautiful place to be. Starting off with Business Sense. Finish hard. That's the message. Finish hard. The end of a thing is better than the beginning of same. I like that. It's one of my favorite scriptures. The end of a thing is better. Now that's just fantastic to know that the end of a thing is, it has all the makings of a higher standard, a better quality, a meaningful experience. So the end of a month is better than the beginning, because many start the month but not all end it. Many start the year but not all end it. Many start the race but not all finish it. So if you're still alive at the end of a thing, you have a lot to be grateful for. And when you start, you must start with the end in mind. That's what it means. It's not enough to start well. It's also important to finish strong. Finish so you can start a university education with a lot of gusto, what my Nigerian friends called initial gragra. But if by the end of the time you've lost your steam, you've not really lived the right way. So this is to the freshers in the universities and those who are starting new relationships. Pace yourself to finish strong. When they run 1,500, it's not the person who starts fastest who wins. Indeed, there are pacemakers who sometimes just motivate the following bunch to run faster. But when it gets to the critical bend, when it gets to the last 1,000, I don't know, last 200 meters or whatever, the pacemaker drops off because he wasn't trained to finish. He was trained to start. So no pacemaker really wins a medal. So the point is not to be a pacemaker who gets the cheers at the beginning. The point is to be the one who comes from the back and finishes strong. And in a sense, January is also a beginning. So don't be too excited about what you see in January. And if things are not going too well for you in January, know that there's a December waiting. So maybe at the beginning, people are doing better. They're getting higher grades, getting more clicks and likes, getting bigger contracts. But start with the end in mind. Maybe you've not gotten an appointment and you're like, oh Charlie, I've worked for the party, nothing give me. The end of a thing is better than the beginning. So my admonition is start with the end in mind. And it's also for those who are discouraged about a slow start, those who are discouraged about an indifferent beginning. You can pace yourself, increase your momentum, and finish with a big bang. This message motivated in parts by the song Diana is singing, not just the words, but just the fact that she's doing so well in music. Some of us saw her beginnings, Harvest Praise, not too good start. But look at Diana, and she's not even get ready to finish yet. Let her life motivate you. Let her story encourage you to keep pushing, to keep trying, and to keep pressing on. 6:31 on the Citi Breakfast Show. We're jumping into the newspaper review segment. Proudly brought to us by Total Energies. We are proudly introducing the Excellium new formula, an additive enriched fuel with a powerful 3-in-1 action that cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. Thanks to the cumulative effect of its anti-corrosion, anti-wear, and detergent additives, Excellium new formula lowers your vehicle's consumption while reducing CO2 emissions. Experience the difference with Total Energies Excellium new formula. Choose Excellium, choose quality. And we're so proud of Piva. I mean, a drink that's been packaged and produced and prepared here in Ghana for the world. With many flavors. Yes, the cola, sir. The orange, the cocktail, yes, the grapefruit, and my favorite, tangerine. We used to call tangerine tangali. Oh my God. Tangerine. It's a fantastic fruit, you know. And you can reach us on 0550-032-231 for bulk purchase. It's a taste you certainly love. Advert FDA approved. We're jumping into the headlines right after this. It's an interactive show. 054-998-6996. We'd like to hear from you. Send us your voice notes. Send us your comments. We just want you to tell us how you feel about the morning and what you think about the country. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. My name is Bernard Kokuavle. I'll be right back.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out in your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, cause you know it's out in your side. And when you dream, no say I live by you. And when you
witty adventure. Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva cola, Piva orange, Piva cocktail, Piva grape, Piva tangerine. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 05500-32231. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now. Go, go. Go me. At what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
About that panel, on New Year, two sa, the manaqua, Razamati, Sumanaco, Razamo, Hereba, I grown out Sadija, and Joelin, you bid him from my sampa. It's all about the buff magis of the her. Inky Kemu, Hereba, baby, Abo Fraba. Get it, huh? I can't stand it, Muntumina. Hereba, I feel good, Mania Wonka. Austin, the good God, Yami Papa. Hey, about a sex machine. I don't know, Surukude, now Warrenim. Sex machine, I don't know, Surukude, now Warrenim. This year, I saw your rap, APC. Some of Wajibu, Benina saw your rap, Odane. Heba, and says, so brother, saw your rap, Warrenim. Some of Wajibu.
6:37, we're jumping into the headlines now. For Boating, good morning. And Caleb Kuda, good morning.
Good morning, Bernard.
Just straight into the papers. What are they saying this morning?
Daily Graphic this morning. Debt restructuring. Ghana gains $2.8 billion. Roads Ministry audits debts owed contractors. And Minister of Works designate outlines plans to develop sectors. Free SHS benefits 3.9 million, not 5.1 million now. The minister is stating more emphatically. So that's what Daily Graphic is leading with. And the back page, Nungwa livestock breeding lands under siege. A great minister to petition oral committee.
Let me take you to the Chronicle. Military alone can't fight Galamsey. Omane Boama bluntly tells Parliament. Parliament endorses Mahama's ministers. Angela Lester sets rightful ownership and leadership of BCM and our Wayne Chiefs MP clash over Galamsey.
Okay.
Ghanaian Times this morning. Ghana Official Creditors Committee seal pact enjoys $2.8 billion debt relief. And then Baka Vamawo renders unreserved apology to the Appointments Committee. President returns home from 3-nation visit. Angela Lester's here as well.
All right. Government engages 60 banks to finalize 7% of debt restructuring. That's what the BNFT is leading with this morning. Professor Alabi appointed GCB Bank Board Chairman. IEA wants capex at 10% of GDP in medium term, says sub minus 4% allocation inimical to growth. Curb judgment debts. Analyst urges government as fiscal discipline efforts intensify.
Daybreak this morning. I have so much respect for Akufo-Addo. This is Kofi Boa speaking. Minority calls for sanctions against MFA Hardcastle. And on the Sahel, jihadists find refuge and supplies in Ghana. Comment: sack Konkonsa national security couple. Ghana secures final MOU with official creditors. Saves $2.86 billion in debt relief service.
Let me take you online. A few stories on citynewsroom.com. Akpenyo Makin is trending with a number of stories attributed to him. He says Freemasonry is not antichrist. Also, he says Mahama Yariga's diplomacy at an all-time best. Still from that same interview, he says, I haven't started opposing NDC yet. I tell you. Now, if you go to other stories on the same website, Ejekum, Ajay and Oklu approved by Parliament. And then we will establish job centers in every district of Parliamentary speaking. In other stories, source of fake bribery claim against NDC committee will be uncovered. Atodas is speaking. And then Pelpo, Sam George, Ablakwa, 5 other ministers designate to be vetted today. Busy day to ahead of us in Parliament. Now, if you go to channel1news.com, NIC suspends 10% motor insurance increase amid public outcry. Meanwhile, Penny Market says he's unaware of today's vetting schedule. In other stories, 78% of educated Ghanaians want to migrate for job opportunities. And then 78% of educated Ghanaians want to migrate for job opportunities. And then a few other stories. Professor Samo Akoria replaces Kuma Abuaje as Ghana Health Service DG. And then government will terminate Palugu Dam contract, plans new approach.
That's a great minister.
Yes. Now my joy online is leading with Ghana to lose over $138 million as US aid withdrawal hits health and HIV programs. We need to keep an eye on this story. A few interview angles from Akpenyo Makin's number 2, Patricia PJ. She says certain practices are being ignored, leading to vetting controversies. She also says bribery allegations are nothing new, but no proof exists. And then a few other stories around what we've already told you. Appointment committee in seeming disarray due to chair's lack of exposure, says Patricia PJ. She's saying a lot of things this morning. Now, I want to just show you a few Africa-related headlines. Congolese president snaps peace talks amid Goma crisis. Then there's also, and this is BBC by the way, there's also a story that evidence shows that Rwanda is backing rebels in DRC. And then there's a nice article on the 3 states that left ECOWAS who began their new life yesterday. And then Zuma's daughter to appear in court over South Africa riots. Reports from South Africa are saying, but globally we are told rescuers search river for survivors after a passenger jet and a helicopter collided in Washington DC over a river. This is like scenes from a movie. Really troubling scenes from the US. That's where the global papers are covering. Okay, so let's start with Ghana's debt story.
With some numbers here. Debt restructuring. Ghana gains $2.8 billion. Emmanuel Bruce is writing, front page Daily Graphic. The country has achieved a significant milestone in its debt restructuring efforts as all participating creditor countries have now signed the Memorandum of Understanding with the Official Creditor Committee, marking a crucial step towards the country's economic recovery. Now, under the terms of the agreement, Ghana will receive a debt service relief of $2.8 billion. And during the IMF supported program period, enabling the government to redirect financial resources towards economic recovery initiatives and critical development projects. Now, the implementation phase will now proceed through bilateral agreements with each member of the OCC, with the Ghanaian authority committing to expediting the process.
Okay, still in the financial sector.
Exactly. The BNFT says the government engages 60 banks to finalize 7% of debt restructuring. Ghana has made progress in its debt restructuring efforts, with only 7% of its external debt left to be resolved. The remaining portion primarily involves negotiations with commercial creditors, and government is working to finalize agreements that align with previously established debt treatment frameworks. Finance Minister Dr. Kassi Olato Bafo, and Speaker speaking during a media briefing on Ghana's MOU signing with the Official Creditor Committee, emphasized government's commitment to expediting discussions with commercial creditors.
Let me give you a quick one which is related. Acting GRA boss makes first public appearance amid protests by NDC supporters. Fred Duho is reporting that the acting Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Kwesi Sapong, has made his first public appearance following protests by some disgruntled NDC supporters over his appointment by President Mahama. Despite the controversy surrounding his election for the top revenue mobilization role, Sapong remains focused on optimizing limited resources to enhance government revenue for national development. He made his appearance as the guest speaker at the African Tax Administration Forum in Accra. So there he started work. Now let's come to this story about free SHS or roads.
I wanted to start with roads, and I'll bring you the free SHS one. So Roads Ministry audits debts owed contractors. Now the Ministry of Roads and Highways has initiated a validation process to determine the government's actual indebtedness to road contractors. Sector Minister Kwame Gavin-Sagboja instructed officials of the Ministry, Department of Urban Roads and Department of Feeder Roads, Ghana Highways Authority and the Road Fund to provide data on all interim payment certificates, IPCs, in the system. He's quoted as saying, "One of my main responsibilities is to work with you, contractors, staff of my ministry and its agencies and consultants to find out whether we actually owe that amount." There are some figures here. If you continue that story on page 20, in 2018, the government was owing about 113 million, and the interest on the 113 million Ghana cedi this year will be 665 million. Then he goes on to say that they will organize a national dialogue on how to fund roads in our country from our own resources. Quote, because surely when you make a proposal that you need 16 billion to carry out your activities and then 3 billion is approved for you, obviously what it means is that you can't carry out many of the things you want to do. So Road Minister
talking about reviews, there's also one here where Eric Opoku says government will terminate the Palugu Dam contract. You read this earlier, and that they will use a new approach. So the government has announced plans to terminate the contract for the construction of the Palugu Dam, citing the need for a fresh approach to ensure the project's completion. Minister for Agric Eric Opoku made this known during a media briefing following a 3-day tour of various departments and agencies under his ministry. Addressing concerns about potential judgment debt, the minister assured that due diligence will be observed before taking any action. Now, still on reviews and that type of thing, free SHS is also in the news. Haruna Idrisu a few days ago hinted that the numbers for free SHS may not be 5 million.
Called for some validation.
Now he's saying on the same paper, if you go to
Joshua Bediako Kumsin is reporting free SHS benefits 3.9 million, not 5.1 million. Minister of Education Haruna Idrisu has refuted claims that 5.1 million students had benefited from the free SHS policy as reported by the previous government, warning that the inflated figures to lead to financial mismanagement and resource wastage. He explained that the actual number stood at 3.9 million, hence using inflated numbers for planning and expenditure has had significant implications for government spending. Mr. Idrisu said this at his first official meeting with the ministry's development partners yesterday.
All right, we can go into Parliament now do some stories from the House. We'll start with the minister nominees, and it says Parliament endorses Mahama's nominees. This is on page 3 of the Chronicle. Parliament has approved the nomination of 7 minister designates for various positions following their successful vetting and adoption of the appointment committee's recommendation by consensus. At the conclusion of the debate, the question is, and this is a quote, all those in favor say aye and those against say no. Honorable members, it is obvious the ayes have it. The motion is carried.
This says, honorable members, I think the ayes have it.
Yes,
so it's obvious the ayes have it.
All right, so let's look at the 7 who have been approved. These are Emmanuel Kwadwo Ejeya Jekum, Minister of State Designate for Special Initiatives, Linda Obenewa Akwile Uklu, Greater Accra Region, and Kenneth Gilbert Ajay as Minister Designate for Water Resources, Works and Housing. Emmanuel Amakofi Bua, Minister Designate for Lands and Natural Resources. Ibrahim Tia, Minister Designate for Northeast. Dr. Frank Amwakuhene, Minister Designate for Ashanti Region. And Akamugri Atanga Donatus, Minister Designate for Upper East Region.
Meanwhile, we are told a few ministers will be vetted today, and there's a couple of issues around this. So, City Newsroom is reporting that Pelpo, Sam George, Ablakwa, 5 others will be vetted today. So the names given, the times were given. We're told, for example, Pelpo 8 a.m. Then Ibrahim Mutala. So Pelpo is for Labor 8 a.m. Mutala for environment 9. Nate George, communication 10, Kofi Adams, sports, recreation, and 11. Then they'll take a break at 12. Samokuja to Ablakwa 12:30, who is for foreign affairs. John Joseph Bukari Ninkpe for transport 1:30. Isifu Seidu, climate change sustainability 2:30, and then Charity Gardner for Ahafo 3:30. Now, what's interesting is that the ranking member of that committee, who was on my show yesterday, he's saying he's not aware of this. He says he's not aware of the schedule. So Minority Leader has expressed his surprise at the advertisement of the schedule I just read. In an interview on the Point of View yesterday, the Minority Leader said the minority did not know about the list, highlighting concerns about the actions of the clerk responsible for the appointments committee. And he says basically that the courteous thing to do was for him and his side to know this. We don't know whether that means the vetting will come on or not, but we are definitely going to be there throughout the process.
In the meantime, all that happened at the vetting yesterday was Baka Vomawo.
Give us the details.
Appearance. So he apologized for bribe remarks. Political activist Oliver Baka Vomawo has apologized to the appointments committee over a controversial post that sparked accusations of bribery among committee members. The apology came during his appearance before the committee yesterday, where he was accompanied by his counsel Nana Atudazi. In a statement before the committee, Baka Vomawo clarified that his original post was never intended to imply that committee members had received or demanded bribes. He expressed regret for any misunderstanding his words had caused.
Now, on the floor of Parliament, MPs are demanding a pension scheme. Ayariga leads fight for better welfare package.
And they have how many weeks to put together a plan? 6?
There's a committee.
45 days. 45 days. So the seemingly neglect and its associated impact on members of Parliament when they either voluntarily retire from public service or lose an election has come to the fore of the legislature, with the Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga requesting the House to critically reflect and set up a committee to welcome proposals for the setting up of a pension scheme for retired parliamentarians. The proposed MP's pension scheme, he noted, will not be financed by the taxpayer. Instead, it will be financed from carbon credit revenues. We know that committee has been set, and Collins Dowda is the one.
Let me give you two health-related stories. So, the Ghana Health Service has a new Director General. Professor Samuel Kaba Akoria has replaced Dr. Patukuma Boaji as the new DG of the Ghana Health Service. Now, Dr. Kuma Boaji's tenure is celebrated for his significant contributions to the healthcare sector, particularly during the COVID pandemic. Now, under his leadership, Ghana became one of the most proactive and effective nations in Africa in managing the pandemic. Now, he expressed his gratitude to his colleagues during his handing over ceremony in Accra on Wednesday and urged them to extend their full support to Professor Akoria. Now, Professor Akoria inherits what we are told is a well-structured and reformed health service. The story doesn't say a lot about Professor Akoria, though. I wish it would have. Abigalatha, I wish you had told us a bit more about who he was. Right. This story is more focused on the outgoing leader. Still on health, though, there's a troubling story here. Ghana to lose over $138 million as US aid withdrawal hits health and HIV programs. So Trump is cutting. Ghana is set to lose approximately $138.7 million in financial assistance this year, following the United States' decision to withdraw aid for HIV/AIDS programs. Now, the funding, which was requested under the USAID Foreign Assistance Discretionary Request Report, was meant to support key sectors such as health, economic growth, education, and governance. Now, in terms of aid, Ghana on average received more than $130 million annually, a joint news source revealed. Last year alone, bilateral support from USAID totaled $150 million, which was directed to health, agriculture, education, governance, and other critical sectors. This year, Ghana submitted a request of $138.7 million, and now that amount will no longer be available. And we're told one of the hardest hit sectors will be health, which had a $69.2 million aid request dedicated to combating malaria, improving health security, maternal and child health, family planning, reproductive health, and nutrition, all under threat. Wow. We are also told the fight against HIV/AIDS will also suffer. We'll deal with this later on.
Yes, the BNFT is reporting that less than 1% of poorest households use clean fuels. This is a GSS report. Data from the Ghana Demographic and Health Surveys has shown that the use of clean fuels for cooking by households in the poorest wealth marginally changed from 0 to 0.5% over a 19-year period, according to the Ghana Statistical Services GSS. While the percentage in these households records a slight increase, the percentage of the country's population using clean fuels for cooking has about tripled over the past 2 decades, from 7.3% in 2003 to 22.5% in 2022.
Wow. Let's come to the graphic back page. What do you have there?
Bernard, Nungua livestock breeding lands under siege. A Greek minister to petition oral committee, Pacom Emmanuel Damali, writes that a tract of land belonging to the Nungua livestock breeding station along the Tema motorway in the Tema West municipality has been taken over by private developers. Several acres already have some almost completed apartments, while other portions have walls built around them to demarcate specific territories. The main office of the Nungua Farms Livestock Breeding Station has been walled by a private The main office has been walled by a private developer who is said to be forcing staff of the facility to vacate the office amid threats of demolition. These came to light last Tuesday when the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, visited the facility as part of his familiarization tour of facilities and agencies under the ministry.
Wow, that's a troubling one. Eric Opoku is making a lot of news. Farmers are also telling him to restore hope to the cocoa sector. That's back page of the Ghanaian Times.
That's right. So Clement Aji Boy is writing from Takra. The cocoa farmers in the Huni Valley cocoa district of the Western region have expressed support for the new government and expressed the belief it would restore hope to one of Ghana's key contributors to the gross domestic product. They stated that government and Ghana Cocoa Board need to express transparency, good governance and goodwill to assure players of their commitment to revive the cocoa industry, make it resilient and buoyant.
There's a story on Randy Abbey, the new CEO, pledging to help revamp the sector. He spoke to City News at the sidelines of the vetting. I wanted to touch on this story. About 78% of Ghanaians who are educated want to migrate. A significant majority, this is Channel 1 News by the way, a significant majority of Ghanaians have considered emigrating, primarily to seek better economic opportunities, according to the latest Parliamentary survey. The data reveals a sharp rise in the number of citizens contemplating leaving the country since 2017. The proportion of Ghanaians who've given serious thought to immigration has more than doubled, increasing from 20% in 2017 to 44% in 2025. Overall, 61% of respondents have considered leaving, marking a 20 percentage point rise from 6 years ago. Now, this is the issue? Among those most likely to consider emigrating are the highly educated. So initially we used to think that, well, educated people have a bigger opportunity. Now, 78% of individuals with post-secondary education want to, at least they've thought about, they call it Wotilo. Young people aged 18 to 35, which is 72%, and unemployed people 68%. Even among part-time and full-time workers, high numbers, respectively 65 and 63%, have expressed a desire to leave. North America is the most preferred destination, attracting 55% potential emigrants, followed by Europe, which is 24%. Nobody wants to go to South Sudan. Charlie, Ghana, let's build a country. Let's build a country some way. Now let's give a few.
By your special initiatives, minister says there's something called labor something. They are going to train people to export them.
Well, I don't even know the profession. Yeah, I know they were doing that for nurses as well. The labor minister will be vetted today, and I think we can keep an eye on that story for you. Across the continent, quickly, a few stories. We are told that there's been a plane crash in South Sudan, one survivor, and then fighting continues unabated in Goma as the Congolese president snaps peace talks. This is really troubling. Kenyan leader Ruto had invited Etienne Tshisekedi, Felix Tshisekedi rather, and his Rwandan counterpart Kagame to a virtual summit as corpses lay on the streets of Goma following heavy fighting. But the DRC's president is not taking part in regionally brokered talks aimed at ending the rebel assault on the key eastern city of Goma. We need to keep an eye on that story. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Bernard.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Well, before the business news, we need to tell you who the sponsors are. They are EcoBank, MTN, and GOIL. EcoBank is urging you to beware of fraudsters who continue to target customers of various banks through phone calls, text messages, emails to get customers to divulge sensitive information such as your password, your PIN or card information, or your CVV or OTP and other details. This is really to steal your money, so be vigilant. Never trust any phone call, text message, or email from anybody posing as an EcoBank staff and assisting customers to update their bank details. Now, bank account details can only be updated at an EcoBank branch. Our mobile app can only be upgraded at the App Store or the Play Store. If you are in doubt, call 0800 003 2225 toll free. God brings you good energy. The Super XP, a fuel with great additives to empower your engine to perform better, fortified in a way that gives longevity, makes your engine perform to the max, and uses minimal fuel. As you journey through the road, look out for your GOIL station with the GOIL Super XP sign. GOIL, good energy. And get ready for a game changer, SMEs. MTN is introducing Yellow Base for our new multi-service bundle with everything you need for smarter business solutions. This all-in-one package consists of a 4G plus router with 10 gig of free data, Microsoft Office 365, genuine Microsoft applications, as well as a customized business website called Webways, and Unicom, a unified business communication solution for your virtual call center. All these and more available with MTN's game-changing application and platform for businesses. Call 100 or 0244 308 111. Terms and conditions apply. MTN.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
So Nashika Caesar is joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, GOIL, and EcoBank. I'm Nashika Caesar. Coming up, government speeds up efforts to secure favorable debt treatment terms for the $2.7 billion owed Ghana's commercial creditors. Also coming up, Ghana's total customer satisfaction score dips to 72% in 2024. Down from 73.94%. And later, energy sector players push for job cuts at Tema Oil Refinery to streamline operations and reduce Total's rising debts. We settle for the details of our stories now. The government is accelerating its efforts to secure favorable debt treatment terms for the $2.7 billion owed Ghana's commercial creditors. This comes after Ghana officially secured $2.8 billion in debt relief following the full endorsement of a memorandum of understanding by all 25 members of its official creditor committee. The agreement, initially reached in principle under the G20 Common Framework for Debt Treatment, marks a significant milestone in the country's debt restructuring efforts. Here is Finance Minister Dr. Kasil Atuforsen outlining government's next steps following this breakthrough.
Ghana is now entering the final stage of the restructuring process. We now have a strong and detailed framework to implement the financial terms through bilateral agreement with the official creditors. We also hope to make further progress with our commercial creditors in the coming weeks to reach a mutual beneficiary solution for the debt treatment. In these discussions, we will be guided by the most favored creditors clause and in the principles of comparability of treatment, offering a precise framing of the terms that creditors may receive. As Minister, I will expedite our engagement in order to complete the remaining 7% of the debt restructuring. We take this opportunity to appreciate the efforts and support so far by the external commercial creditors and urge them to support us to complete this process as soon as possible.
Dr. Kasil Atuforsen is the finance minister. Meanwhile, economist Professor Godfred Bokwin is calling for long-term focus on fiscal sustainability beyond Ghana's current IMF-supported program.
Anytime we were under IMF-supported program, we tend to achieve some relative macroeconomic stability. But right after the program, you see that the vulnerabilities begin to show up. Sometimes also because some of the program conditions are designed in such a way that they will return after the expiration of the IMF supported program. And that's clearly what you see in this case, because almost 90% of the external debt or the debt restructuring relief will all be utilized once the IMF program is in place. And the reason is simple, so that the IMF supported program has sufficient fiscal space to be able to deliver on its objectives. Beyond that, then the fiscal vulnerabilities will begin to show. Remember, if you look at the domestic debt restructuring, the clustering of the repayment in 2027, 2028 is very huge. If you link that to the external debt repayment, both external commercial and even external bilateral and all of that, you see that there are headwinds that we have to start planning for that now. We don't need to wait for it for us to get there before we begin to say, hey, what is happening? This is a time to begin to have a long-term plan to all of this.
Professor Godfred Bokwid is an economist. Moving on, players within the financial sector are warning that achieving economic recovery will not materialize until the government tackles the issue of non-performing loans, NPLs, in the banking sector. According to the Bank of Ghana, NPLs in the banking sector have climbed to 21.8% as of December 2024, up from 20.6% in December 2023. Despite the increase, the central bank assures that the sector remains profitable and resilient. Dr. Richmond Ichiahine is a banking consultant, and he says resolving the issue of non-performing loans in the banking space is crucial to addressing the country's economic struggles.
It's quite worrying, because if you are with a high non-performing, it means that you are constrained in giving credit. Because of your high non-performing, you say high and rising non-performing, severely limits the ability of the banking sector to provide a new credit and support the economic recovery, because you've already had a chunk of your bad loans. So if most of your deposits has turned into bad, then it means you're constrained from giving a new credit. So all that you may have to do is to manage and do recovery of the existing, but you cannot give a new credit. So for that, if we don't tackle it with all the alacrity and speed, there will be no economic recovery.
Dr. Richmond Ichiahine is a banking consultant. Now, Ghana's overall customer satisfaction score declined marginally to 72% in 2024, down from 73.94% in the previous year. This is according to the latest Ghana Customer Service Index. GCSI still kept the country at a B grade. The report, which assessed 11 key industries, revealed that the transportation sector emerged as the best performing industry with an 86% satisfaction rating, while the utilities sector lagged behind at 55%, indicating disparities in service delivery across industries.
The 2024 survey, which gathered insight from over 2,400 respondents across Accra, Kumasi and various regions, focused on key metrics such as trust, brand image, competence, professionalism and ease of doing business. Among the results, Ecobank Ghana emerged as the top performer in the banking sector with a strong 76% rating, following closely were Fidelity Bank at 74% and Cow Bank at 71%. Interestingly, the Ghana Police Service ranked among the top 5 public sector performers. However, in the broader public sector, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority (DVLA) topped the rankings with 75%, trailed by the Ghana Education Service at 73%. SNITS followed in third, with the Ghana Revenue Authority in fourth, and the Ghana Police Service rounded out the top 5. In the telecommunications sector, Telecel surpassed MTN to claim the top spot with 75% rating, followed by Airtel Tigo at 70% and MTN in the third place with 62%. In transportation, Yango ranked first, while in retail sector, Junction Mall emerged as the leader. Speaking to the media following the brief presentation of the 2024 findings, Yvonne Ohui McCarthy, founder of the Institute of Customer Service Professionals, stressed the importance of continuous improvement and customer-focused strategies for businesses and institutions alike.
For this year, we saw that transportation came tops and utilities was at the bottom. Transportation is usually amongst the lower 6 performers. Utilities, unfortunately, has always hovered around then. We would have hoped that they would have done better. Ghana scoring a 72%, which is a B, is not too good because last year was 73.9, and so it's a step down. We would want to see Ghana in A because we have an influx of people coming to Ghana every December or even throughout the year, and we shouldn't be at a B with the kind of investments that people are making. We also realize that customers will pay a bit more if you would give them the experience. So this year, we've also realized it's not just about having technology, but it's how well the people behind the technology are working.
That was the founder of the Institute of Customer Service Professionals, Yvonne Ohui McCarthy, ending that report by Emmanuel Opong. Now, the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, CEMS, is urging the government to reduce payroll cost at the Tema Oil Refinery by laying off redundant employees. CEMS believe this move could help streamline operations, reduce tolls, mounting debt, and improve efficiency. Daniel Odumenza has more in the following report.
In a recent report, the center highlighted that TOR, which has been incurring significant losses, is overstaffed with more than 750 employees, despite only needing around 150 for its current operations. The report also revealed TOR's equity has been steadily declining since 2019, with a staggering 25% drop in 2023 alone, leaving the company with negative equity of over 5.7 billion Ghana cedis. The center estimates that at least 6 billion Ghana cedis is needed to restore liquidity, but with the government's financial constraints, this could be difficult. The executive director, Benjamin Insia, stresses the urgency of these reforms for TOR's operations.
The Tema Oil Refinery needs a total dissolution. We need to dissolve it and then begin to restructure it. This is our position because a company that has been in negative equity for the past 4 years, a company that has not made profit for the past 5 years, with its net loss accumulating to over 7 billion Ghana cedis, shouldn't have employees. So we think that the new government must put certain effort in restructuring this particular organization so that it doesn't burden the taxpayer more.
You heard the Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Insia, ending the report by Daniel Odumensa. Now let's have a quick market check on the currency board across some forex bureaus. The dollar is going for 16 cedis 20 pesos. The British pound is going for 19 cedis 40 pesos, and the euro at 16 cedis 70 pesos. Remember that these are the rates being offered by the forex bureaus to the public. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and EcoBank. I'm Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great business day.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees. Mommy chop money. Crash it. Mommy rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town. More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the Chop Life we got. Dial *770# for money emergencies and Chop Life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more. Dial *770#. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
For over 60 years, Good Energy has served you top quality fuels. Goil brings you Super XP for a smooth ride. It is available in Goil stations nationwide. Goil Super XP is fortified with special additives which help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Goil Super XP is quality fuel, the ideal choice for most vehicles. Energize your ride with Goil Super XP. Who feel ya? Huh? Who feel? Good energy. Joy
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
As you can see, Charlie, I still they breathe, Charlie. They having me, Charlie. They won't take me 6 feet, Charlie. Jehovah sees, Charlie. Jehovah oversees, Charlie. So when I go down on my knees, I pray for the
14 after 7. Banana Big Grocery is in with kickoff. Before that, Zonda Ghana Limited is proud to be associated with Kickoff, as is Shell V Power. Zonda Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for quality trucks, Shantui bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, rollers, power pickups, TX trucks, and oil tanks. All made and assembled right here in Ghana. At Zonda Ghana Limited, we provide top-notch after-sales service for all your heavy and light-duty trucks and machinery needs. So visit us today. We have 7 branches around the country. Our head office is off the Tema Flower Road, close to the Free Zones Enclave Tema in Ghana. So call us on 050177 222 050177 333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana. Now, when it comes to unleashing your car's full potential, Shell V-Power is the only fuel that can deliver unbeatable performance. With its advanced cleaning power, V-Power protects your engine from performance robbing deposits, ensuring optimal performance. So why settle for anything less? Fuel up with Shell V-Power and make your engine unbeatable. Shell, go well.
I pray for the things I like.
15 after 7. I say,
yo,
I didn't know Kodo.
Baby, I is smooth.
Or Kodwa.
Too much.
No more so many.
I say, yes, and you try good to some cacao.
I go Pomado and Zamawa.
Yo,
or Kodo.
Until you move it.
I'll move. I'll move.
Thank you very much, my guy.
Oh, Savinho! Game over, surely! City are through! Savinho with the goal that might just have secured it! And City will await the draw on Friday.
Manchester City coming from behind against Club Brugge to reach the Champions League knockout phase, where they were safely joined by Paris Saint-Germain as Arsenal qualified directly for the last 16 last night in the final round of league phase matches. We have reactions coming up shortly, and of course the Minister Designate for Sport and Recreation, Kofi Adams, takes his turn at the vetting process by the appointment committee at 11 a.m. All of that plus some more news here on the Citi Breakfast Show on 97.3 Citi FM. And I am Bernard Abekoatri. Before the details, many thanks to Shell V Power and Zonda GH for helping us with this.
But first, Kofi Adams, the Minister Designate for Sport, is set to appear before Parliament's Appointments Committee today at 11 a.m. for his vetting before assuming full duties as Minister for Sport and Recreation. If confirmed, Kofi Adams will become Ghana's 28th Sports Minister since 1978. However, he assumes office at a challenging time with Ghana failing to qualify for the 2025 AFCON and also missing out on the CHAN tournament set to take place in Tanzania, Kenya and Uganda. Despite these setbacks, his focus will be on securing Ghana's qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, with qualifiers resuming in March. Additionally, he is expected to address concerns surrounding the expenditure for the 13th African Games, which Ghana hosted in March 2024 and sparked significant public scrutiny. Away from that, former Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, George Afriyie, has raised questions over the relevance of the Black Stars Management Committee. Afriyie described the committee as unnecessary, arguing that its role overlaps with existing structures within the Ghana Football Association. He believes that the responsibilities assigned to the committee could be handled by individuals already employed within the system, making the committee redundant.
Are you saying that? I don't know where this thing came from. Rose being given to Black Star Management Committee. Look, are you saying that the chairman of the committee, who himself is a club owner, cannot do some of the things that they are asking other members to do? I don't understand it. I don't know why they came up with these rules. Maybe Kurt will be the better person to explain. For me, I don't see where this is coming from. The most important thing is that a body has been mandated. So this body is to execute a certain kind of job. Allow them to meet and then decide what each of them has his skill set and his strength. I'm surprised why he came up with that. I'm very surprised.
George Afriyie is the former Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, speaking to my colleague Gabi Ofe in that space. Now, Black Star skipper Andre Morgan Dedeayo has listed former defenders John Paintil and John Mensah as players who took care of him during his time, together, of course, at the national team. Dedeayo made this revelation on the French Ligue 1 show, where he listed the top personalities who influenced, his career. Ayo also singled out Paintil and Mensah as players who took care of him when he played with them for the Black Stars. The trio played together at the 2008 AFCON and 2010 FIFA World Cup.
The players who take care of you, who were there for you when we go to the national team, like John Mensah, John Paintil. I'm a boy who works a lot with loyalty, and I respect loyalty a lot. For me, it's the most important thing, and these people around were the people who really made me become who I am.
Andre Morgan Dedeayo is the Black Stars captain. Or taking you to Takwa and Mediama Sporting Club have announced the appointment of former Accra Lions coach Ibrahim Tanko on a 2.5-year contract. The UEFA License A holder has completed all formalities and takes over from Technical Director Augustine Evans Adote, who returns to his original role. Let's now talk about Tanzania. Now, Tanzania will co-host the upcoming 2024 CHAN tournament in August with Kenya and Uganda. Dr. Patrice Motsepe, CAF's president, has been speaking about infrastructural work done in the country ahead of the tournament.
Petrol stations and goes to Total Energies. This is what I love about football people. And he says that he works very well with the people here in the country, and I'm proud of the pipeline and the work that the work that you're doing in Africa. We had a meeting with the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, and he told me what beautiful work you're doing in Papua New Guinea. So, of course, money is important, but and I say this with respect, just the long-term commitment is even more important. So I'm excited. Tanzania is going to do well. Wallace said to me, in the CHAN, the trophy is going to stay here. This is beautiful. And they also said to me that in 2027, yesterday in Morocco, every person who spoke said the trophy is going to my home, and others said it's staying. But the youth is very important. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Patrick Motsepe is CAF's president. Now, the Ghana Football Association Vice President Mark Addo opened a 3-day FIFA Financial Governance Workshop for General Secretaries and Chief Finance Officers of the 10 member associations at the Marriott Hotel here in Accra. The member associations participating in the workshop include hosts Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Sudan, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Cape Verde, the Gambia and Kenya. It's a 3-day event, but at the end of yesterday's session, Head of Financial Governance Program, Christoph Supeja, had this to say.
At the end of this training, these member associations should be entitled to learn a lot about different topics, such as how to prevent conflict of interests, what kind of measures they should put in place in order to select different providers, under the procurement procedures. We will share a lot of best practices, so we have elaborated a financial governance guide which contains a lot of material for member associations to learn and then to implement in the relative member association in the country.
Let's now listen to the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harrisonado.
It is extremely beneficial for us to host the FIFA Financial Governance Workshop in Accra. I think that we are happy about the opportunity to host our fellow member associations in Ghana. That said, it shows that FIFA is in sync with us and they believe we can host. Because in choosing the host, they take the opportunity to look at the way you have been managing your FA. Because if you are not managing the FA well, FIFA will not give us this opportunity. So I think that we are excited to have this workshop here in Accra.
We are from Prosper Harrisonado, who is the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association. Let's get to Europe now. Alright, so we zoom in quickly into the night of drama. The UEFA Champions League and a match changed Liverpool finished top of the league group phase despite losing their 100% winning record after defeat to PSV Eindhoven in a 5-goal thriller. Liverpool, who had won their opening 7 matches, led twice in the Netherlands before conceding twice at the end of first half in their 8th and final game.
Positive, not because of the result today, but to end up first is always good, and the performance today was also pleasing to see, with so many players that were or either not playing on their own position or playing for the first time on this stage. So then to keep up with this PSV team was, especially in the first half, was good to see. I saw some good performances from individuals as well. Many of them made for the first time 90 minutes, so that's also positive.
Oli Watkins helped Aston Villa beat Celtic to reach the last 16 of the UEFA Champions League just hours after Arsenal's approach for the England striker was made public. The forward struck to decisively restore Villa's lead after they had blown an early 2-0 advantage. Now Barcelona missed the chance to finish top of the league phase of the Champions League as they drew with Atalanta, who dropped into the playoffs or the playoff round. With a match changed, Liverpool losing 3-2 to PSV Eindhoven. Already qualified Barcelona would have taken top spots with a victory. Here's the Barca coach, Hansi Flick.
Yes, of course, but we said we want to have the second position. At the end, I'm very happy about that because I think it's a big success at the moment for the team. And today was a tough match. It was not easy to play against them, and but I think also we could defend a little bit better.
Well, that's your sports, and many thanks to Zonda GH and Shell V Power. I am Bernard Abeko. Sports is life. Get involved.
Guys, Charlie, you know that mining contract I've been chasing for years? I just got awarded the deal. But the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy-duty trucks to execute this job here in Ghana.
Relax, my guy. Remember my recent construction deal at Pokwase? Zonda sorted me out.
Zonda? What? Who is that?
Zonda Tech Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for machinery, heavy and light-duty trucks, and pickups. They have the Shantui bulldozers, graders, payloaders, rollers, poor pickups, 4 land light trucks, TX trucks, and oil tanks. Made made and assembled right here in Ghana with top-notch after-sales service and standard prices.
Made in Ghana. This is amazing.
You haven't seen my Zonda Power pickup, which I take to the office. Strong, durable, and tough on our roads.
Hey, that's from Zonda too?
Absolutely. Zonda is the right place for you, my guy.
Oh, now I am sorted with Zonda. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, your solution for heavy and light-duty trucks. Located at Tema, off the Aflao Road. Call 0501 772 222 or 0501 773 333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana.
In a world where only the best survives, you need a fuel that can match your drive. A fuel with unparalleled protection for your engine, superior efficiency, and unrivaled performance. A fuel so unbeatable, when you get behind the wheel, you'll focus on what really matters. The journey ahead. That fuel is Shell V-Power, because no other fuel gives your engine better protection, better efficiency, and better performance. Be unbeatable. Drive unbeatable. Shell V-Power. Shell. Go well.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
It's time for Belmont flavored milk.
It's Belmont time. Each and every day.
It tastes so good.
It tastes so good. I love my Belmont.
Great for each moment.
Great for each moment. Any time of day.
It's so delicious.
So delicious. Belmont flavored milk.
Belmont.
Belmont. I love my Belmont.
So delicious.
Belmont flavored milk. It's maliciously delicious. For bulk distribution, give us a call on 0544 335 900. Another quality product from Bell Aqua. This advert is FDA approved.
Belmont flavored milk.
Dear business owner, congrats on not giving up on your business. You deserve a medal, and your business deserves to be taken to the next level. In fact, it's about time you run a Zenith Bank SME account so you and your business can enjoy the perks of the Zenith SME business card. Oga and Oga Madam status.
The Zenith SME Business Card is a Visa debit card for making secure payments for goods and services. Enjoy great benefits such as free customized digital SME training, free marketing toolkits, access to Visa practical skills training, and more. Unlock the potential of your business today. Visit any Zenith Bank branch nationwide and sign up for the Zenith SME Business Card, the ultimate payment solution for SMEs. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com.gh or call 0302 680-884 or 0307-086-370. Zenith Bank, in your best interests.
The Heritage Caravan 2025 is officially sold out. Thank you for your patronage. Now get ready for an unforgettable adventure with the Heritage Caravan 2025. We will experience a cultural revelation as we travel through 14 unique regions, each offering a deep dive into the nation's history, traditions, and natural beauty.
An opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful, and the people, the connection, incredible.
From Sunday the 2nd of March to Sunday the 9th of March 2025. Pack your bags and let's set off on the road trip of a lifetime with an unmatched opportunity to explore landmarks, taste authentic Ghanaian cuisine, experience the arts, to network and to connect with the people who make Ghana truly special. This is more than a tour. It's a chance to experience the soul of Ghana, to witness its growth and to create lasting memories.
The places we visited, the road trip itself was awesome.
Everything was good, yes. Even the Bui Dam was very educational.
Follow all Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2025. The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority with support from 97.3 Citi FM and proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, Hollard Insurance and Omnibasic Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Many dasu nina niwo eye ankasado na mido na eba no say no do pe na mi de ya edruboni na minum wana anase mi kosha konfo se obido wa wana na inye wukikano na mintio.
Unleashing the power of Relevant Radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Or dancing, and I'm also not meeting or dancing. Nasafi and Nessa, a kid, me, I feel now, no way. A day by ya, I do one. Your friend, no by wo. Semafu, I can't tell you. I'm in Paucha, and you say, yo. Why?
7:35. Akwabwa Senior Classic 1. Few birthday requests coming in. Happy birthday to Mrs. Linda Na Ayele Laye Vadendove. Have a blessed day. We love you from Krem. Happy birthday to Kingsley Abrokwa of FAO. You're based in Malawi. And good morning, team. I'd love to wish my dearest husband, Mr. Obed Boa of E-Waste Fund, a happy birthday. You're an incredible human, honey. You've touched lives and shaped all around you. We totally adore you from your wife, Nana Kwabia Boa, your children, Nana Kusiwa Ejaboa and Ohima Boa. Happy birthday to Frederick Kwesi Martinson. Your best is yet to come. Have a splendid day. And for 20 years, I've been blessed with the honor of writing with you one beautiful love story. I thank God for the joy of your friendship and love. Happy anniversary. Lovely, from Chris to Patience Diaba. Here's the next phase of Together for Life. Or here's to the next phase. I'm a bit slow this morning. I don't know what's happening to me.
And also this one is to Mrs. Dorcas Jumo Ajiman, Assistant Superintendent of Immigration, Kotoka International Airport. Have a good one, babe. This one is from your husband, our old friend Kwame Jumo.
Happy birthday to Apostle Daniel Redu, General Overseer of Possible Life International Ministries, Domi Pillar 2. Wishing you endless happiness and God's abundant grace in the year ahead. Happy birthday. from Joyce Edem at the Ghana Tourism Authority. Who told you I don't understand Tree? No, sorry, one of my listeners.
Where is this one coming from?
He says, Bernard, what amazes me is you cannot speak Tree, yet you understand and seem to enjoy classical Tree songs. The truth is that I actually speak Tree, I speak Ga. I even understand some Hausa.
Yes.
I just don't speak it. I speak Tree very well. I speak Ga pretty well.
Yes, your Ga is solid.
I actually
interspersed with a bit of English.
I can actually understand a bit of Hausa when, I was born in Medina. So when somebody says a few things in Hausa, I can understand. So Ibrahim, I'm not a small boy. I'm not a small boy like that.
Like that. Well, what you quite
you don't know.
What you try to sell us.
Anyway, yesterday on the floor of Parliament, the minority were just misbehaving in a good way. Oh. So they were basically shouting names of people who should be appointed deputy ministers whose names have not been heard.
Why did
and you could tell that there are some MPs who are concerned. So the minority
were making them uncomfortable.
Yeah, they are like, how come we haven't heard from Adongo? How come we haven't heard from Ezaneto? What is happening to? Then they were just mentioning, and they're like, Mr. President, you have quality material in Parliament, so choose from here. Great Accra, what's going on?
That's 60. They've been trying to hit at that 60 for a while, but we're not the ones who said we're going to appoint 50.
I think they are. Look, my impression of the interview I had with I think they are playing a political game here.
Of course,
because they want to put pressure on the system to see if the system will buckle.
Yeah.
And I think they know that a lot of NDC people want positions which they will not get.
They were talking to the grassroots of those persons.
But I think that if the president goes back on his 60 ministers promise, it will be bad. He says he can do it with 60. He started with 42. He will give us 18 deputies.
We are finished.
The system will not collapse. Look, Benin has less than 30 ministers. Australia has about 30 ministers or 34. We have a lot of examples of well-run countries without many ministers. I actually think, and I've said this before, apart from the DCs, the most important appointments to keep an eye on are the CEOs.
Yes.
Yesterday we have a list of almost 180 state-owned agencies. The vehicle of state is actually run by these companies, not these agencies. So you have authorities, departments, agencies, and then state interest companies. I think that's where our eye should be, not who is a minister or who is not a deputy. Anyway, so we'll come back to that shortly. Today has a very stellar list of names. Now, I don't know how they can finish all of that, because see, Omanibo Ama was vetted for 4 hours 26 minutes. Yeah. The average minister's vetting has been 1.5 hours. Yeah. And yet you've put Rashid Pelpo, Ibrahim Mutala, Samonate George, Okujeto Ablakwa, Kofi Adams, and then the Nikpe, all for an hour each. That's not practical.
Okujeto will not last an hour.
As in, what do you mean he won't last an hour?
Go beyond an hour.
Sorry. Yeah, he probably goes 4 hours.
Okujeto.
Yeah, even Samo George.
And it's easy for say you later too.
So that, and then there's also a regional minister. So 8.
I hope.
Yeah.
No, but
charity gardener.
How do you do 8 in a day?
But I hope my brother Sam George and my brother Okujeto, they've been exercising the whole week.
What do you mean?
Because they'll be there for a while.
But I feel like
they'll be there for a while.
I'm not sure if I get that in terms of what's the point.
No, there are a lot of questions to be asked.
In our interest or in the interest of his political in the interest of the general public or in the interest of his political opponents.
Both.
Is the vetting for settling political scores or ascertaining the suitability of the candidate?
2 days ago, when you were running through yesterday when you were running through your Instagram, your infographics on Omanebo Ama.
Yeah.
What percentage of questions were about things that he had said? It was above 30%.
Actually, it was 50 or 40, if I have it, about 40 something
percent.
In fact, almost all the 110 questions that Apenyomakin asked him, probably about 70% were on that.
Yeah.
But to what end?
You see, to
what end?
The game is the game.
I get it.
The game is the game.
But maybe to be fair, Apenyomakin said it was the way Omanibo Ama answered the question that led to its longevity. Yeah. So, for example, Gilbert Kenneth AJ. Yeah. Charlie, the guy is controlled though. They'll ask you, please, I'll consult. They ask him, please, I'll work with stakeholders. when I get there, I look into the issue. I say, hey, is it Nigeria? Is it? I'm serious. And Charlie, I mean, he's so controlled and so even-tempered, and people like that should not be underestimated.
Yeah.
For me, the fact that he's an NDC person in Ashanti that a lot of us in the media don't even know.
Yeah.
That's number one. He was Deputy Defense Minister. We didn't hear a lot about him. He's now a Ministry for Works and Housing, which is a very public-facing ministry. And he seems very unfazed. They asked him to sing his favorite. What is your favorite? Mr. Olumba. What is? And even the answer he gave, right? They said, "What's your favorite Olumba song?" Say a new Srikwa. That was the guy. The guy, So I think sometimes these vettings can be shorter if you go and simply say, you know what, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, but on the face of what needs to be done, for instance, the reason why I'm saying Sam George, for instance, might take a while. Kelly GVG, that you can't finish Kelly.
He took it on a lot.
It was very personal for him.
Yeah.
Cost of data.
Yeah. SIM card registration.
He took it up.
5G network and these issues.
Next gen infraco.
Now outside of
we haven't even come to LTGO, Kasapa, and all the telco single market player.
Now, outside of that,
closure of radio stations.
But
it's also there. We haven't even come to his.
Then we talk about what actually his plan is, because there will be questions about cost of data.
Yep.
How do you intend to bring that down? Internet access and penetration, quality of service from providers in the space. Even just these three alone.
Are you sure they will ask him about? They will ask him about his. I think this is what I see from what the trend I've seen. A lot of questions will be about LGBTQ plus that he's pushing as the main guy.
I don't think that should come up at this vetting. I think there are too many key issues in the sector for them to enter that realm and stay there.
See, you have a defense minister vetting.
Yes.
You have a situation where there's insurgency in the Sahel.
Yeah.
You have a lot of challenges with terrorism attacks. You have the Accra Initiative. The percentage of questions asked on those was less than 20%.
But
almost all the questions were about, you said EC was this.
Yeah.
What do you say today? Yeah. You said, that's my point. So is it in the same way that Omanipo Ama was grilled on what you can consider non-essentials?
So LGBT will come
because you, in covering West Africa as a journalist, if you had a defense minister before you, there are so many things you would have drilled in, not necessarily
of course
the issues around what is about EC.
It was of no use to me.
So in the same way you are saying, Samuel George may be answering questions about Ayawaso West War Gone,
regional coalition,
those things, because you see, people like Samuel George, Samuel Kutetua Blackwood, they have taken strong positions for the NDC. So the people who are going to face them too are not there to do policy review.
Going to settle scores.
That's my point. So that's essentially what I was asking Apenyo Makinda. Are you there to do? You get me? He was saying there's politics in governance. I get it, but governance is much broader than just politics. Because see, somebody can come to power without being a politician. So, wasn't Rawlings in power as a military dictator? But wasn't governance still an issue? So my point is that you cannot reduce a vetting conversation to just the politics of it.
But Bernard, don't you think some of the appointees also enjoy it?
They even caught it with their answers. That's the point. Some of them come in with this posture that Charlie.
Look forward to it.
Do you know the other reason?
Yeah.
So here we are thinking that we need to do a policy discussion about a minister, what's coming to do.
Yeah.
They are speaking to their base. So the guy comes, we ask a question, he wants to show to his base that Charlie. And then the guy asking the question is also trying to. And you see, this thing I say, we treat politics as a spectator sport. And it's not right. It's like people follow politics like they follow Has and Kotoko. And you see, again, we discussed that with Apenyo, that you see, when we do that, we bring out the very worst in our people, because they are watching the thing from the lens of, like maybe, even in interviews, it's like, hey, deal with them. So you are doing an interview and they want you to give him punches. Well, what's the point of that? You are trying to elicit meaning. You are trying to bring out
insights.
You get it, but that's not what people are looking for now. It's like, and now even parliamentary debate has become
trends.
Charlie, let me tilt my head at some angle,
so that they will catch my.
And let me say something that TikTok will get me 35,000, whatever. We reduce the business of governance to theater, and when you do that, public, social, economic life will suffer. I always say that when the discourse is reduced to just bare politics, the quality of public life will suffer. So when you are driving from Kaswa to Tema for work and you can't get proper rail, it's because public discourse is reduced to politics.
Yeah.
And when that happens, healthcare will suffer, education will suffer, because so long as the discussion is based on politics and who gets the credit and it's not on the basis of what's best for the people, that's when you have somebody say it's 5 million or 3.5 million for free SHS. You don't even know, and there's no objective of even testing it. We should not reduce these, and this is what Bagbin was saying to them yesterday, that don't reduce public accounts public whatever hearings into this committee. I want a word to use, almost
charade.
Let's not do that. And of course he admits that they are learning, and he also admits that they are balancing many things, balancing what the party supporters want, what the leadership expect, and what good governance demands. And sometimes that balancing act is very tough.
Okay, so then let me put it this way. After all that you've said, my hope is that the committee today will spend a lot of time when it comes to Sam George asking him industry questions.
Thank you.
That is my hope, because he's about to supervise a sector that is super important in this age that we live in. Two, if you pay attention to the NDC manifesto, there's a lot of talk about providing jobs and upskilling in this particular sector.
Digital.
Yes.
So we need to understand
something coders programs.
Yes, we need to understand a bit more. The very profitable telco sector will be sitting down today watching that, hoping to glean
from the nominee
a sense of how they can even interact with him.
Yeah.
So I hope they do that. Now with Ablakwa, again, the same thing you said will come up, because he's taking oral will be an issue and all those things.
The whole thing will become a spectacle on oral and land and things.
Yeah, and for him, I actually do expect
National Cathedral.
For him, I actually do expect a lot more of that, because the thinking will be that there isn't a lot of work
at the foreign ministry
as compared to Sam George, but there is indeed a lot of work, particularly in the sub-region that we are in today.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we get questions on yesterday. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger officially left ECOWAS. ECOWAS accepted it. What are his thoughts on those? How are we going to deal with them as a country? Trade in the sub-sector, trade in the sub-region, trade on the continent, how he is going to help from where he sits. Okay. Passport issues. How is he streamlining that particular process? How is he making sure that Ghanaians are able to facilitate their documents at his ministry quicker, getting notarized documentation through quickly? Those processes are things that sometimes take a bit too long.
Yes.
The appointment of foreign officers to different countries. The missions and how they run. What
about the welfare of Ghanaian students abroad? It's something he's been raising a lot.
And even the way global geopolitics has changed and where he interprets Ghana's position on many issues.
What is his thinking? Because he can't speak for the government yet. What is his thinking on Ghana's relationship with China now?
Very important.
Ghana's relationship with Russia, because Ghana's relationship with Russia, if you look at,
has taken a dent.
If you look at and Mahama personally has always had a very good relationship with Russia.
Exactly.
So does that mean that we are turning things around? There's a new US president. What is Ghana's thinking?
Very difficult situation.
Because a lot of things have happened in the past week or two that impact us. Just this morning, even though yesterday there was a turnaround on the aid, particularly with health and antiretroviral drugs, there are still a lot of things that are happening in Ghana that rely on those things. What are his positions on those? There's a lot to be said when Mr. Ablakwa sits down.
Which is why you see,
again, I'm hoping
that they will focus on those issues more.
They will focus a bit more, but I know that in the end it will be oral, National Cathedral, and his role with intercepting documents and putting them out.
I mean, to be fair, that's also important in the sense that the suitability of a candidate for a role should be based on a lot of things. Their conduct in public life and their consistency and all of those things. But we all know that at some point this is politics. All I'm just urging the committee to do is, let's put the national interest at the center of everything we do. And as you said, there are so many. Look, there's a conflict in DRC. In West Africa, ECOWAS is not really kicking it. Our leaders just returned from a big summit in Kenya, and the day they finished was when the fighting started in DRC, if anybody has noticed. So about 28 heads of state went to commit themselves on digital initiatives, electricity for all, only to reach home to hear that Goma is boiling. Okay, now I interviewed Jacob Zuma, and he says he thinks that, he said he can say that. He said he thinks the quality of African leaders in terms of being able to take strong positions has reduced, and he can say that because he's from an old school. And I feel like yesterday, DRC and Rwanda, they are fighting. Kenya is trying to call a meeting. DRC says, Charlie,
yeah, Rwanda is also saying go and see somewhere.
We could have said, well, in the era of maybe Kufuor, Mbeki, maybe it would have been easier. You get it? So it looks like the stature of some of the leaders on the continent has not really, that the ability to peer review is sort of gone away. And I think these are very critical questions. And he's a young foreign minister nominee. Okay, how is he going to be? Where is Ghana going to be seen? How is Ghana going to be seen? So we have the nomination of Beblo Lati to work with the three countries. How does he see that? What's his relationship with Nigeria going to be like? How are we Francophone as a concept? I read a very interesting article which they say Francophone is collapsing. Essentially, that French stranglehold on Africa through the Francophone system is facing an existential threat. What does he think about that? These are very important questions. What opportunity does it open? Ghana Cote d'Ivoire did some really good things under the previous government. Okay, are we going to follow through on that? And can you reach the Ivorian president without support from the former government? Because if you look at our relationships, it's easy to say, for example, this current president is very close to the Kenyan president, possibly to the Nigerians. We're not too sure the Ivorian connection, right? But we saw Akufo-Addo did a lot with Cote d'Ivoire, the cocoa thing, all right? So I feel like there are a lot more salient things that have to be dealt with, but we
can only hope, can't we?
Then
the last one for me will be, of course, the sports minister, Kofi Adam. Yesterday I was on Twitter on an X Spaces, and I was saying that look, Kofi Adams is the last person I underestimate. I would rather wait for him to disappoint me than to open up with a feeling of he won't work at the sports ministry. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Can you repeat that?
I'm just saying I'm working with the theory that I will wait for him to disappoint me when he gets there.
Right.
Rather than there's been general disappointment with the appointment from day one, even though he hasn't been
among
there.
The sports fraternity.
Amongst the sports fraternity.
Why?
Because he is not a man from he's not a known sports personality. He doesn't have a history with the fraternity. But
isn't that better?
Yeah, but I'm also saying that as somebody who I've hosted Kofi Adams several times when I was helping the big issue and eyewitness news and whatnot. He's somebody you don't underestimate. He learns very quick.
Maybe the sports fraternity said their own questions because they claimed they were looking for.
Because obviously the weight of support was with Neil Ante van der Poel,
and then
because of his know-how and the fact that he's very abrasive. But Kofi is
on the system.
Yeah, but Kofi is nobody's pushover.
Yes,
Kofi is nobody's pushover. And again, I think today he will get a lot of Black Stars questions. But there's a lot more at stake beyond that. And I was happy that.
So, what are some of the key issues you think he should be tested on, or what are the things what does our sports minister need to do to salvage our sports?
The sports minister needs to figure out funding. Yes. One, he needs to figure out where the funding is coming from. Two, he needs to streamline the sports activities. Look, every country streamlines and says these are our priorities, and then we will bring the others up when they get to a certain level. We tend to give a lot of attention to everybody in pretty much the same way, even though football gets a chunk of the money. But we need to understand that we are doing 5: boxing, football, track, this and that, and we'll bring the rest along. So that's something he needs to look up. He needs to figure out how to get the National Sports Authority
to work
properly and assert itself. See, because if he's able to get the National Sports Authority to work properly, one, in terms of the facility management, just 3 days ago you spoke about the report that Joy FM did at the stadium where renovated stadium that you still can't breathe in the washroom. He needs to figure that out. Hopefully, he gets a good NSA person to help him out. The last one for me is how to fix the strength and not fix the relationship between the Sports and Recreation Ministry and the Ghana Education Service. It's a link that I feel has not been optimized to the advantage of the country. If he's able to do that, I think those are the key items. Of course, a lot, but I hope they don't end up asking him a lot of black stars questions. So
you're saying that the way they bring the question can influence even his policy outlook.
Exactly.
Because if they spend all the time talking about black stars,
obviously
you're not qualified for AFCON, what can you do?
He can't do anything.
So from the beginning, I think things like athletics.
Yes.
Should
so
be.
Ask him questions. And
I hear he likes boxing.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying, that they must start with a base for him.
I get you.
You know, and then he spreads out from there. But the facilities are key because we don't have the facilities.
I'll come back to you on sport because I actually have some questions for you. I'll come back because Kofi Adams, I think the sports is a very key sector which we need to spend a bit more time on. So I'll come back to you. Let me do a few things. 2 minutes to 8, Citi Breakfast Show. This Valentine, Africa Regent Hotel presents a truly magical experience of luxury, love, and serenity for you and your loved one. It's on the theme Love Beyond Words, Valentine's Day Staycation. Features a one-night stay in a beautifully appointed romantic room for two, a bottle of champagne on arrival, gift of chocolate to enjoy, complimentary rose petals to add on, dinner buffet for two, and a luxurious 60-minute couples massage. Prices start from $5,440. Book by tomorrow, January 31st. Enjoy a 10% discount. Call 0302-765-180 or go to theafricaregenthotel.com for more details. This year, Apollonia City is offering you the chance to own premium lands at competitive prices with up to 3-year payment plans. Our service lands come with access to water and light, tarred roads, solar powered street lights, access to high-speed internet, and so much more. We also have 2, 3, and 4-bedroom homes for you to choose from. Call 0275-577-577. And again, if you're ready to drive innovation and take the next step in your career, apply for an Ashesi University Master's Program, which combines world-class education with African relevance. Regardless of your career aspirations, an Ashesi Master's Program equips you with the skills, ethics, and network to lead boldly. Applications are open for our 2025 cohorts. Learn more at ashesi.edu.gh. And if you are in search for an ideal environment to build your career, Best Education Services invites you to the applications and admissions open day of 2 of Canada's best universities, Carleton University, located in the capital city, Ottawa, and the University of, you said it's called
Guelph.
It will take a while to know this. Guelph in Toronto. It's on the 4th of February, Accra City Hotel, 6 to 8 p.m. Both universities offer merit-based partial scholarships, paid internships, and part-time jobs and research assistantships to help you make money while studying. Now, if you want more information, call Best Education Services on 025 26 22 333. You can even send them a WhatsApp. So 025 26 22 333. There's admission for September intake for a wide variety of programs, MBA, and others. For these 2 universities, that's happening. And GRA is reminding all persons registered for VAT, NHIL, and Get Fund levy that the payment for December is due by end of January. So that's tomorrow. File your returns early to avoid payment of late penalties. There are penalties from around 500 cedis to even 2,000 cedis for late filing. So avoid that. Call 055 299 0000. That's 055 299 0000 for more information. Second social media trends with Susu Graham, brought to us by
First Bank Ghana and Telecel. If you're sending money to Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone, it's much easier, convenient, and exciting through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems PAPS. All you need is to visit any of our branches nationwide with your cash. Your money is transferred in no time. To receive money, you will need a First Bank Ghana account. Is another way by which we put you first. Call to learn more about PAPS 0596 921 921. Now switch to Telecel Fixed Broadband today. Experience incredible incredible bonuses, non-expiry bundles, data transfers across devices, and lots more. Subscribe to Telecel Fixed Broadband for these amazing offers. Dial star 900 hash, use the Telecel Play app or visit the Telecel retail outlet, telecel.com.gh. Get connected today. Terms and conditions apply. Telecel, connecting energies.
Let me speak in James English. What trendeth?
Oh, today we are dedicating the segment to the investor community.
Okay, you explain. You go on.
The investor community, 18 Champions League games happened, so people thought they were about to make their fortunes.
Oh, you mean betting? And what happened? All the scores went south.
Who knows? Everybody. Well, some
won, some didn't.
Well, some of them are clearly trending for the wrong reasons. AC Milan is the number one trend.
What happened to them?
They lost against Dinamo Zagreb.
At home or away?
Away, but of course.
Have they qualified?
They dropped out of the top 8 into the to I believe 12th.
So, but they are still in the game.
Yes, so a few teams are trending for certain reasons like that. So you are seeing Oyibo is also trending.
Mm-hmm.
After 10 is trending because the claim was after 10 everyone will be a millionaire, but
I don't even get it. Okay, you go on.
So a lot of football teams are trending again because of their games, but aside football,
was there any big surprise in those matches?
Well, that's why I said AC Milan number one trend. Leipzig also couldn't score a goal, so they are also in their trends. Okay. Liverpool too lost, they're in their trends. Juventus also,
but they still top the group.
Yes, Juventus also lost, so they are also in their trends. So a lot of disappointed young men and women. So that's the unfortunate thing. So the next trend obviously is Oliver Barker-Vormawor. He had his day in front of the appointments committee, and his lawyer is also trending, Nana Atodazi. So everything that happened at the appointments committee with the post and the back and forth and that kind of stuff. So that's another trend. So the next one is NDC MPs. So I think that might be due to your interview with Afenio Markin and his claim that some NDC MPs came to beg him and that kind of stuff.
He said they came to see him to start engaging.
Is that one of them? Well, the NDC are saying that one of them came to beg. So that
so it's trending.
It's trending. Yes, it's part of the trend. So those are the main trends. So now if I go to tech news, Microsoft shares have dropped. So it looks like based on the cost of the AI, which has been because of DeepSeek coming and all that kind of stuff, people are scrutinizing the spending of tech companies a bit more. So Microsoft, their shares have gone down because people are now wondering, are they spending too much money? Are we getting value for money? So that's the tech and social media trends.
Thank you very much, Susu Graham.
Baby, first bank, you're looking for a bank to rely on. Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Would we say cattle bank baby? No lie, only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office is chilling, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first. Woo!
Nobody feed you, I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First Bank, we treat you first. Treat you first. Sabansi yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Auntie T, I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, bruh, that be dangerous combination, no.
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, you fit get your own data and call packages. Fala! Made For Me bundles like the way you the want them. That star 530 hash, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Imagine waking up in a beautiful home you can call your own, or watching the value of the plot of land you invested in grow year after year. This 2025, Apollonia City is inviting you to start the year right by making a smart investment in property. Apollonia City offers high-quality real estate that is ever appreciating. At Apollonia City, the value is not just your home or land. It is also the area that surrounds it. Tarred roads with safe speed limits, drainage for even the most punishing floods, and neighborhood planning that ensures your view will never change. Choose any of our serviced or semi-serviced plots or any of our beautifully crafted homes and enjoy up to a 3-year payment plan. Call us on 0275 577 577 or 0542 777 222 and let's help you start the year right.
The Heritage Caravan 2025 is officially sold out! Thank you for your patronage. Now get ready for an unforgettable adventure with the Heritage Caravan 2025. We will experience a cultural revelation as we travel through 14 unique regions, each offering a deep dive into the nation's history, traditions, and natural beauty.
An opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful, and the people, the connection, incredible.
From Sunday the 2nd of March to Sunday the 9th of March 2025. Pack your bags and let's set off on the road trip of a lifetime with an unmatched opportunity to explore landmarks, taste authentic Ghanaian cuisine, experience the arts, to network and to connect with the people who make Ghana truly special. This is more than a tour. It's a chance to experience the soul of Ghana, to witness its growth and to create lasting memories.
The places we visited, the road trip itself was awesome.
Everything was good, yes. Even the Bui Dam was very educational.
Follow all Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2025. The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority with support from 97.3 Citi FM and proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, Hollard Insurance and Omni Basic Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
What if we told you that your next adventure is just a tap away? That's right. With Republic Bank Visa Credit Card, it's your time to win a staycation at some of Ghana's luxury beach resorts, 5-course dinner, a full-day spa service, or the ultimate, an all-expense-paid trip to Dubai, the city of gold. Every tap brings you closer to winning in the Top Win and Fly with Republic Bank promo. Whether it's Infinite, Adishi, or Classic Credit Card, just keep tapping to win. New customers are welcome. This promo is regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio.
You are the one who makes me smile. You make me see what's pure and true. Yes, you are extraordinary woman. You are the one who brings me joy, to cast my every lingering doubt that you are extraordinary woman. Your love is healing when I need it, that good, good feeling with a meaning. You do all you do.
Ordinary way.
Woman, your sweetness brings me happiness, like the rain to a thirsty earth.
12 minutes past 8, 97.3 Citi FM. So the question this morning, what are you looking forward to? Which of the vetting sessions? We are told there are 8. It's not really clear. The minority that says is not aware that all 8 are to be vetted today. But some of the prominent names, Ukutetua Blakwa, MP for North Tongue, to be vetted for Foreign Affairs Minister. Samuel Nati George, MP for Ningo Prampram, to be vetted for Minister for Communication. And Kofi Adams, MP for Boem, to be vetted for Minister of Sports. There are others. The Transport Minister Ninkpe will be vetted today. Mutala for Environment and Rashid Pelpo for Employment. We are told the vetting starts at 8, but I'm not sure they've started yet. It's going to be an interesting day today. But if you're looking for litigation free land, contact Royal Kingdom Estate. We specialize in land acquisition, construction, design, property management, and more. The properties in prime areas like Accra and Ebri, land starting at 90,000 cedis. We offer flexible payment plans and affordable homes ranging from 2 bedrooms and premium furnished apartments at East Airport. Call 055-755-5909 or send us an email at info@royalkingdomestate for more information. The future of energy is here and it's more affordable than ever. Translight Solar, your trusted brand in solar solutions for the past 10 years, is making it easier to own a reliable solar power system. With our flexible payment program starting at 49,000 cedis, you can now power your home or business by paying just 30% upfront and spending the rest, and spreading the rest over a 12 to 24 month period. It's that simple. Buy solar now and pay as low as 1,650 every month. This year marks our 10th anniversary and we're celebrating you. Be among the first to take advantage of our exclusive discounts and early bird deals. Call 0504-249-229 or visit translightsolar.com. Translightsolar.com.
Yes, if you're looking for a delicious snack for both kids and adults, try Bell Moo flavored milk. It comes in chocolate and sweet strawberry flavors. It's perfect for any time of the day for your lunch boxes, after school snacks, or a quick pick-me-up. For bulk distribution, please call 0544-335900 or 0544-335800. Bell Moo is maliciously delicious, another quality product from Bell Aqua. If you want a British degree at a fraction of the cost, you're looking for a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability skills, please. And if you're also considering a place where you can get up to 50% scholarship, where you want is Lancaster University, Ghana, where you'll be taught by the finest faculty trained to UK standards. For more information, please visit lancaster.edu.gh. Email us admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Call 0209 60708. Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
We'll read your comments shortly. We're asking you which of the vettings you're looking forward to. There's environment, there's labor, there's communication, there's sports, there's foreign affairs, there's transport, and a couple others. Godfred is looking forward to 3: Samuel George, Samuel Ablakwa, and Kofi Adams for sports. Let me come to Caleb before I come to, because I know you talk about sports too. What are you looking forward to in addition to what Godfred has said?
So I think transport is big for me, and then also climate change and sustainability.
Okay, let's talk about transport first.
That's a new role. So when you are looking at the transport network we have across the country, it's obvious we need some more coordination, and we need a proper mix of all the transport sectors. We focused a lot on roads. Even then, we've not achieved what a lot of Ghanaians will say is desirable. More work needs to be done, and so there is that. We need to properly coordinate the road sector, railway, and we need to have a conversation. We need to know whether they will be considering water transportation, because these are conversations we've talked about a lot. That if we're able to add water transportation to our transport mix as we have it now, things will be much better for our compatriots. So I'm looking forward to transport.
So hearing ideas around, because don't forget there was aviation and railway, all of them now back under a big transport ministry.
Correct.
Where we are very road focused. I'll be happy to hear him say a few things about the possibility of having tram lines.
That would be great.
You know, a lot of our road medians are big. And for example, the Adenta Road, if you get to Barry and you're going towards some parts of Adenta, there's a huge median. If you look at the Bemakam bypass, there's a huge median as well. Converted. I was hoping they could start thinking of, but you need electrical power, which is why I've never understood when we are told that we have more power than we need. There's a direct relationship between electric. So let me put it this way: if you don't have cheap power, you can't industrialize.
True.
So essentially, if your kilowatts per hour is not below 7 cents per kilowatt hour or 6 or 7 cents per kilowatt hour, you have no chance. Because generally, if you go to most advanced countries, electricity powers many things. If you go to Switzerland and you're driving or you're moving, you can sit on a jump on a tram. It's electricity powered.
Yeah.
So for a country that's still doing around 5,000 megawatts as our total capacity, it's not good enough. So whilst we're discussing transport, I think there should be an integration with power sector, because if you want to push trams, you need a certain level of electrical power, which is cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, even the rail sector as well. Some rails run on electrical power, some do not. So some of these ministries, they may have great ideas, but if we don't get the basics, so the basic ministries in my view, agric is a basic ministry, energy is a basic ministry, finance is a basic ministry, because there's nothing you can do without finance, nothing you can do without food, nothing you can do without power, which is why they were first three to be vetted. So I cannot get that. Having said that, I agree with you that we need some new thinking around integration of transportation. So even though Mr. Nikwe is not such a high profile name, we shouldn't reduce the vetting to theatre. He's going to oversee a very important sector, and he's been an MP for almost 20 years.
Wow.
Apart from 4 years where he left power. So sometimes we use the personalities to overplay the issues. But if you do an analysis of this radio program, I can say we discuss mobility a lot. Every day. I mean, Kasua, I can't get a car. Transportation. Yesterday, I mean, we're speaking to some people in Kumasi. We're talking about the ring roads of Kumasi that need to be done. I have an interview with the incoming Ashanti Regional Minister, which I'm airing today. And he spoke about how if they were to build Kumasi's ring roads, traffic in Kumasi would reduce. And if they were to dualize just the inlets, so you have the place where you enter Kumasi from Accra, where you enter Kumasi from Sunyai, and from, I think, Bekwai. If you are able to open those up, very interesting ideas about transportation.
The other issue with the transportation issue that we sometimes often forget is the quality of buses we have. We need to
vehicles generally.
We need to phase out space buses,
Yes.
and the trotro that we have.
Yeah.
Bernard, I had to use trotro sometime during the Christmas year. I never missed the experience. What we are putting people through just by picking trotro, it's not good. Trotro is risky. The space buses are not good.
Do you think a Minister of Transport can have the boldness to come up with a program that will replace all our trotros?
Maybe upgrade them, because replacing will be rough or a bit abrupt. But we need to start having conversation with the private owners. I mean, if the state cannot effectively run BRT or Q quality bus transport system as we have come to have it, at least we should have some standardization. You don't enter trotro and there's no leg room, like it's just a rod there and there's a piece of leather on it, there's no foam. By the time you get out, you're sick. People are carrying children.
And if there's a crash,
it's very deadly.
And you know the thing, in
deadly.
every serious country, if you're traveling more than a few kilometers in a trotro like thing, everybody must be sat in seat belts.
Yes.
It's one man, one seat.
Yes.
All right. Here you have, as you said, angle bars are converted into seats. Delivery vans from Germany used after 20 years, retrofitted and human beings. So for me, a human-centered. So you see, this is a problem with Ghana. The important things we need to do without the political will to do it. I think that if the minister has the courage to say, look, let's initiate a vehicle exchange program. The state can say, GPRTU, we want to improve the quality of all trotters on our roads. And we have given ourselves a 5-year plan. In that 5 years, you can bring your old trotter for a replacement and you spread the payment over a number of years. Government can even get equity in the unions. So you can force them to form cooperatives. You see, this is what we need by thinking outside the box. Okay, Lord, let's start with Circle. GPRT, you have 200 cars. You know that these cars are old. They are owned by different people. Form a cooperative and they jointly own something and come to government and say, okay, let's bring in 200 new made-for-purpose trotters, air-conditioned.
In fact, electronic buses.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Which you will still partly own, but government has a small share. And then you do some work and pay arrangement. Do you get me? Now, this is what you need a policy to do. What the policy will say is, the policy says we will not have a trotro where you can't wear seat belts. Because if somebody is going to sit in a car from Kaswa to Accra, we are not going to endanger their lives by policy. So this trotro in 2 years should be phased out. Now, you don't say you've banned all trotros. That's not a sensible way to do it. But you give them an alternative. So, but the problem is, even with this vetting and all these hearings, it's all about interests. You get it? So they say, oh, the police people, they own the trotros, the politicians. So our politics is getting in the way of our development. This thing I'm saying to you, it may seem like I'm talking out. Speak to people. Somebody will come out with a financial model and say, it's done in many countries. There's no reason why we should have these debt traps as trotros. Yet you listen to the veteran minister, they won't say anything about it. They will just come, ask 1 or 2 questions, and then they just move on. Look at DVLA. DVLA is supposed to be the place where you plug in the tax holes. Let me give you an example. In Ghana today, if you want to import a car, the duty you pay on the car can buy many second-hand cars. So we are making a lot of money at the ports. Now, all those cars are being registered and used in Ghana. Now, there are many taxes we want to collect, which we can use DVLA to collect. So you want to toll a road. There's no reason to make people go through that traffic. Give them the option of pay at the beginning. You get it? But we are not, this is my view, we are not people-centered in our development. If you start from the people to say, can you put a worthy human being in this car? When I was in the UK, when we were going for a conference in London, I was living in Birmingham, we will hire a vehicle and the driver will give you a briefing before you sit in the vehicle. You have to wear your seatbelt. There are certain things you can't do when you're in the car. All right, and if we are more than the bus, we have to hire a bigger bus. Standard. We may not meet a policeman on the road, but the driver who is coming to pick you, because there's a policy that has consequence, because they put the human being at the center of their thinking. I'm saying to the parliamentarians and the people who are doing the vetting, you have a chance to use your platform to reshape policy. Because, by the way, a minister is a policy head. Okay. Now, if your policy is human-centered and says mobility in Accra is not fair to the average worker, it's too expensive, it's too unsafe, and the roads are bad. So the way to meet them halfway is I'm going to make it safer, even if they'll pay a bit more. I'm sure that if somebody sits in a trotro from Dodowa to Accra and he can read a book whilst in Naka, he'll prefer it. Okay, so we are saying that this ministry should not be placeholders, appoint somebody come and take over the role. Oh, we know you from long. You see, the danger to our democracy is not us. It's when duty bearers fail consistently to meet the needs of people. It's not. And when you make everything about politics and you don't think about how do we make mobility easier, it also requires thinking. You see, you need to say, okay, what are the various models? But in Ghana, it's interest. Susu, you are a minister, you are my friend. Charlie, do you have some deal? I want to give you something. Can you bring 200 buses? Okay, I'll get 10%. How does that change somebody's life?
I just wanted to say that we've been talking about the political side, and that's the main thing. The ugly truth is that GPRTU has over 120,000 members. So every politician is afraid they are going to lose 120,000 votes if they reform transport. That's the ugly truth. They are not thinking of the fact that if you actually reform transport and help people, you might win millions of votes from people who are going to be using that transport every day. But the short-term 120,000 minimum votes, because this is their 2018 membership numbers, from what I
120,000 members.
Yes, from 2018 numbers.
That's and are they all against reforming the sector?
I think if you were to take trotros away, the idea is you're taking their livelihood away. So the politicians think if we take their livelihood away, they are not going to vote.
But my proposal doesn't
take away.
No, but you see,
it's upgrading it.
But you see, all of these things, the fact that you change it, you are meddling in their lives. If it doesn't go right,
but that's what leadership. Leadership is to improve lives.
Bernard, I don't disagree with you that they should, but the truth is they are scared. And if you are a politician,
then they're not proper leaders.
They are calculating
the kind of mandate you have today. With the kind of mandate you have today, what will you be afraid?
Push through.
But the
reform.
We didn't see any policy mentioned, even in the campaign, about it. Do you get what I'm saying? So
forget about the manifesto.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think it's a priority for them.
That's why we are here. What I'm saying is that you see, the way they conceptualize solving the problem is also part of the problem. Every time we see it as a binary zero-sum game. So if we say reform transportation, it means close down trotros. That's what I'm saying. I am saying that you can come up with a middle way that can make the trotro even benefit more. The trotro driver's own life will be shortened by the kind of trotro he drives. If he sits in a better vehicle with better safety arrangements. So a lot of times it's because we don't, you see, when you conceptualize the thing like, oh, trotros are killing people, so let's replace them with buses, then you are in a problem. You can say, look, even your posture, your eyesight, this vehicle and the smoke it produces, you're not going to live very long. We are giving you a path. You see, this is what leadership is. A pathway to reform. It's tough. And I want to see the vetting, in fact, not even the vetting, the selection of the people should be the where it even starts from. You want somebody who has a proven track record of reforming something. Because you see, change management is a very crucial part of leadership. And when I see the way we are doing our vettings, even the vetting suggests we just want placeholders. And because Parliament is a place of interests, so it's not really about what makes life better for people. It's about, hey, when you go, Charlie, take care of me. Oh. You do understand? And I feel like Ghanaians need to be more engaged. Like, for example, you are watching vetting and you are watching the comments. Even the people who this bad governance is destroying are cheering these guys on. You know what I mean? Like, you go on YouTube, yeah, and there's like an exchange between the committee. People should be saying, guys, are you here for this? They're like, oh, MPP, when you empower you so money, and this, then you just be insulting each other. Are you crazy? The reason why these guys are there is to make your life better. Right? And you are fighting for one of them to come there to keep screwing you up. And you're not even saying, by the way, okay, so you as a listener who's watching that debate, they are vetting the transport minister. What do you really want from the vetting? Oh, you want him to finish the other side, so you are happy. Like, how can you? So what do you get from your side winning the argument? Isn't life more than that? Can't you say, okay, you know what? I really think this guy has some great ideas, and I think we should support him. So put him on. Hey, let's develop the idea. A lot of these ideas, when you have buy-in, look, finance is available if it is well crafted. One of the problems we have in this country, as I said, power, finance. If you have enough electrical power, you can do a lot of things. Money is expensive, but if you structure, if the concept is right, and you can have the right honest people around it, you will find the right funding or right financing. Okay, 30% interest rate is very bad, but there are places you can get cheaper money to do good things if you will be committed to doing it. And I don't think our political class have been pressurized to do this. And I think the media helps them in that mediocrity by focusing on the non-essentials. And then the populace is also fed this thing every year, and they've become part of this system where it's all about cheerleading. Okay, appearing for our nominees for a country that just had this serious election should be very serious policy stuff. And then when CSOs speak, we rubbish them. It's like, oh, this guy's the NDC, this guy's the MPP, to hell with them. So we clog the policy space with people who can shout the loudest. You can shout, but your idea will not be better because your voice is louder. What you need to do is to think deeply and say, okay, how can we make mobility better? Now, in doing that, you have to think about the benefits of mobility. It's not just because you don't want people to talk about it on radio. It actually enhances productivity. People live longer. It's actually part of health. If I sit in a trotro from Kasua to Tema every day for 1 year, I'll fall sick. I may die before my time. But people, so when you talk about health, it's a thinking problem. Susu, we are not thinking deeply about our situation.
Oh no, it's fine.
That's the truth. And you need sometimes somebody to pierce through the what's the word I want to use? The complacence. Yeah. Because people are so comfortable in this quagmire of mediocrity that the only benefit you get is to say somebody from my hometown is in government. How sad.
That's even why I brought up the votes, to talk about the fact that they are not thinking far. That's why I brought it up. I wasn't saying it that, I'm not saying it to agree with them. I'm saying that that's what they are thinking about. That's the reality of why they are making the decisions they are making. They look at every decision and say, how many votes can we win? How many votes can we lose? If they feel like they will lose a lot of votes because it's a hard decision that has been made in the short term, they are afraid. That's basically the problem with a lot of things. Because transport, I don't think it's so difficult to have standards for churches. I'm not even saying take them away. Just have standards alone. They are afraid to do that because if you think about it, these are the same people who vote for you, and you are putting their lives at risk every day because you are afraid to have standards. That's why Caleb talked about the metal sticking out, the lack of seat belts. How can we, as a country, have most people having to use basically delivery vans that someone is going to get a welder to put a bench inside and things
as our main mode of
transport? It's disgusting, to be frank. Yeah. So that's what I mean by the votes are what's clouding the adjustments, because they feel like if we get on these people and say we have to have some safety standards, seat belts, maybe no more than 12 people in a church and things, People think we are losing money.
Let me give another concept for what you're saying. So, one option is to have government play a role in replacing trotros. Another option is to change the rules to allow a different kind of private sector investment.
Okay.
You get it? So, in the UK, the buses we take, they are not owned by the government, but people own them. Like there's a VIP bus.
VIP buses. Individuals.
Why don't you have a policy around that type of thing where Godfred has maybe a lose 10,000, Caleb has a lose 5,000. We can invest it into a bus which drives better. Now, you know the Accra Kumasi buses, they are now smaller versions, which go longer distances. Yeah. So I think that a minister's job is not necessarily to try and get a big government contract to do something. It can just be speak to the private sector and say, okay, what policies can we change for you to better invest in transportation for higher quality? So it can meet DPRTU and say, okay, all the owners of this thing, trotros, what would it take? Because my objective as government is to have better quality vehicles on the road. What would it take for you to invest in that as a private sector? Tell me what you want me to do. They can say, oh, part is financing. How do we get rid of our old cars? Our drivers are not well trained. Do you understand? So it's not like, we are not saying you need to be, which is why I say you're not supposed to be a transport expert. You just have to have leadership to say, okay, what we want to solve is that we need to transport our people better. Government doesn't have money to buy buses for all the routes. Private sector have invested for years. But private sector are also Ghanaians, and if you lead them well, they will take right decisions. You meet the financing people. What would you need to see to give financing for better quality transportation? Do you get it? Should government give you some concessions? Do you understand my point? Or do you need to have some vehicle assembly plan? Like, these are the things that we should be interested. But you watch the vetting. Chiefs and people have come. He's from my hometown. My queen mother is here. Okay, please, when you come, remember this. When you come, remember that. And I'm saying that is an abuse of the democracy. We shouldn't reduce this thing to people's interests. The public we have invested in keeping these people comfortable. So we should not cheer them on when they misgovern to screw us up. That's bordering on lunacy. We should say, no, guys, we put you there to make you comfortable so you can think deeply about solving our problems. Okay, we are not saying buy us food and give us money. That's not why we put you there. How do you improve our lot? BRT since 2007. Can you imagine? 2007, where were you?
I was 11.
We launched our first BRT in 2007. Journalists were taken to Nigeria to go and study BRT. Till today, Tessano, you enter the route, they've reserved an alleged BRT route. Everybody is driving through. Like, we can't implement a BRT in our city. We are not ready for development. And you see, these are the hard truths. So when you have a transport minister coming before you, and I hope Mr. Nimpe doesn't think I'm picking on him. I'm using him as an example. And I'm not saying everything will be solved by vetting, but your vetting should show that even the MPs are thinking deeply about the people's problems.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a when you look at Ghana from an outside view, have you noticed that when you stay in Ghana for a long time, things don't worry you? Then you go to school and come back, or you go to the US or Canada and come back, and you're like, oh God, again.
Well, not US and Canada, just go to Togo and come back.
You see, so and I think we have Ghana has potential because the environment is great. We have a good spirit. All right, the camaraderie is nice. The way that, like, we have a lot going for us. If only leaders will actually lead. All right. I think we have a great thing to do. So you've spoken about transport, and I thank you for raising that. What's the other one for you?
No, still on the transport. Okay. I'm sure a lot of the issues they might say, oh, it's capital intensive, so they will need money. So I just want to give the minister an idea. If he goes and they ask him, okay, how do you hope to fund this? Assuming he wants to do trams in the capital city and all of that. Look, we can generate a lot from parking. We can generate a lot from undisciplined driving. We have implemented, put security cameras around, and there's supposed to be a coordinated office in an office where they can monitor everything. The Ghana Police Service sometime back sent us messages that if you jump a red light, they will automatically pick your number plate, send you an email, you pay. I don't know what has happened to that. I don't know what has really happened to generating funds from parking and undisciplined driving. Yes. But I believe that we can make a lot of money from that, and that will go go back into the transport system so that we can get the trams, for example. And we don't need to do this all over the city, just the central business district.
Yes.
So you know what, if you are phasing out the space buses that go to Kaneshi from the central business district, phase them out and then replace them with the space buses so that
Newer
people can
ones.
pay them on this basis we are talking
Exactly.
about. And if you get this revenue thing going and you do it well, I am sure Ghanaians will collaborate, because the reason why everyone is looking for a better life. All those who, the 78% Ghanaians who are well educated, want to go out, they will go and pay parking fees if they don't park well,
including
And we
parking
want that here.
in front of your house.
In your own house.
Look,
you will pay.
I was in a certain part of US going for a program. All right, and I went to somebody's house, and the person said, "Charlie, you know if you park here?" I said, "No. He said, no, if you park for here, in front of your own house.
Actually,
And if you don't have a permit or you haven't paid, they will come and tow your car."
Yeah, no, where my mom lives in the UK, it's the same thing. So you have to now apply to the council to get a parking permit, because what they do is they come around between
And
one
check.
and two
Yes.
to check whether you have a permit. Because at that time, the people who might live there might be at work and stuff. So if your car is there, they will check and that kind of stuff. They also have weekends and nights is free, but during the day, that's when they come and check. So they all have. So you have to now apply. Every car you have to apply just to park in front of your own house.
Yeah.
And you pay a monthly fee and everything.
Yeah.
So you can't just park anywhere.
I really hope the appointees at the ministry level are thinking of policy direction that will open up the spaces, and then the implementing agencies must also focus a lot on being efficient, because you can have a great policy lead, but if the implementing agency is corrupt or lousy, that's not going to work. So there has to be some tightness between the nominees and their agencies. You get it? So that, for example, yesterday we were talking about one ministry that has about 10 agencies. I think it's the Interior Ministry or something, right? Those agencies really,
It was lands actually.
yes, are the pillars. So like Kofi Boy is going to be lands minister. If Lands Commission, Minerals Commission, Forestry Commission, if they are not up to speed, he can't do it much. So we should also look at those people and how they innovatively but aggressively implement
But there are
policy.
13 agencies under Ministry of Transport.
Mention them for me.
So there is DVLA,
Mhm.
there is Ghana Road Safety Authority,
Mhm.
there is Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority,
Mhm.
Ghana Shippers Authority,
Mhm.
Ghana Maritime Authority,
Mhm.
Regional Maritime University, PSC
Tema Shipyard. Mhm.
Metro Mass Transit is
Oh my
here
God,
as
my
well,
God.
and a good number of others.
I'm sure
who are
STC is
all
even
there.
part as a
STC
state-owned
Limited,
enterprise.
Volta Lake Transport Company Limited,
Yeah.
and then there is even Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau.
All of
the
this.
Ghana Civil Aviation is here, and all that. And that brings me to another point under the transport.
Yes.
We've had the whole airports being not functioning optimally for a long time.
Yes.
Bernard, when we went to Kenya, one of their thriving industries is aviation, to the extent that a young Ghanaian 25-year-old has moved out
Wow.
of here to go study to become a pilot in Kenya. If we are able to make, as proposals have come up, the whole airport a proper aviation training school, a lot of young people can realize their aspirations, and you can create a whole economy within that enclave. And the aviation industry is such that the value chain is a long one. So if you're able to properly do that, that would be great. And I must credit the past administration. They've invested quite a bit in the aviation industry.
Yes.
With the Tamale Airport done,
Kumasi
with
Airport
Kumasi
upgraded.
Airport upgraded. Wa also
So
upgraded.
almost every region has
Yes.
Takrady, you can fly into Tadi.
Yes.
Even Sunyani, you can fly in
The
there.
issue has, however, been with the cost of traveling by air.
Yes.
It's quite expensive, and I'm sure the minister will care about it.
A very good point.
Traveling by air is very expensive.
I actually think you've given him another lead where, when I talk to the aviation companies, I think it's a question of the profitability of the routes. If we had more people traveling,
Yeah, the volume.
yes. So one very interesting thing that some of them started, which we couldn't control. So, for example, so let's assume you have an aircraft that has, there are two types of aircraft. There's a jet propeller, and then there's the one that is based on wind.
Yeah.
So the jet propeller one, you need a longer, the one that's propelled by jet fuel, you need a longer strip to land. But the one that has the propeller, you have a shorter. So if you had, for example, let's assume, say on a Saturday, you had an aircraft that has, say, 80 seats or 50 seats. People want to go to Ho, some people want to go to, say, Koforidua, and some people want to go to Kumasi. You could then have all of them join the plane. You pick the first batch to Ho, you pick some from Ho to Koforidua, and from Koforidua to Kumasi. Some airlines do it on the West African coast. It's like trotro for air. I really think he should talk a bit about that. He should speak to the airline industry and say, look, what can we do for that thing to work? All right. What cost or taxes can we reduce for your aircraft? Because I think people like what's the name of the airline now? Toby Apede's own.
There's our and Passion Air.
Our and Passion Air should be propped up and helped, because they're solving a lot of problems. It reduces pressure on our roads. All right, and it opens up the country in very useful ways for even tourism. Okay, I don't see why I shouldn't be able to fly from, say, Sunyani to Tamale, or from Takrady to Ho. There should be all those connections possible if the aviation sector is made more profitable. So I think the minister should be quizzed around his thinking on what to do for the airline industry to improve. Once that is done, traffic on our roads can also reduce. All right. Then the issue of rail, we started it with the Tema one. I don't know what they can do. It's high investment, a lot of money. So usually it's not possible to do it in a few years. But I still think that there's a middle way to be gone to. The key thing that we see through all of this, though, guys, is finance. You see, and we conceptualize finance as the budget and the allocation. I think we are very limiting in the way we think about finance in Ghana. You know, Atufosin's job is to manage the budget. We need to raise revenue. We also need to open up capital. The cost of money is too expensive. The real problem in Ghana is that if you're doing anything, cashew farming, and you want money to do an expansion, 30% interest rate doesn't make sense. Now, we don't usually quiz our nominees on the finance side. It's like, oh, Ghana's debt is too high. What are you going to do about allocation? The truth is that the main problem Atufosin faces is that financing. You see, financing of our development is tough. When people bring money from abroad, your exchange rate is so poor. So even if somebody gives you money from a US, he gives you $20,000 as a seed fund. If you're selling in cities, you can pay back. So the macro is to deal with those, and then sources of financing. Are we going to the Middle East? Are we going to come back to internally generated sources? Are we going to use more in taxation, like road tolls and stuff like that? There has to be a deeper conversation, and national conversation on financing, which I don't think we've had. So all these people who are going to be vetted, at the end of the day, they will say there's no money. Right? Because they think government is, let's allocate from the center. DACF, who's going to allocate? It's only supply side. But there's and it's even supply side on the point of view of how we use what we have. But how do we generate what we need?
So the members on the committee must be demanding more answers, and I'm sure by now the ministers designate will have some targets, and they should be thinking creatively about how to raise revenue in that respect. But Bernard, a lot of the things we are talking about connect. For example, there is a new ministry, and this one is focused on state climate change and sustainability.
There's a new minister.
Minister of
I'm
State.
not even sure it's a ministry.
Minister of
It's
State.
just a minister of State.
Responsible for climate change and sustainability.
Yeah.
And if we talked about some of the things we talk about transport, we are able to achieve them. It will segue into what we are looking at with climate change, because there are emissions issues we are talking about, and our space buses, all of that contribute towards that. And usually the climate change sustainability conversation sounds a bit esoteric. People think it's for a few learned people who are up there and
who don't have anything to do.
Exactly, because if you're looking at the emissions really generally, we are not emitting much, but we are actually feeling the pinch the most.
Yes.
Because our agriculture is really rain-fed, and for a long time the pattern has been disrupted.
Do you think EV should come into the conversation?
It will be great. It will be great to know what the policy direction of this minister is.
I spoke to somebody who uses an EV in the UK, and the person said there's two people, one in Ghana. The person said their cost of running transportation are reduced by like 60 something %.
Wow.
And that so long as you have charging capacity, they didn't spend as much on their car as they would have done with a petrol or fossil fuel vehicle. The only problem was that the EV was a bit more expensive at the beginning. All right, so like this transport ministry, you are right, it combines sustainability, energy transition, and all of that. If we can accelerate our EV program, we could even solve part of our transport challenges.
Just to add, the EVs also have less moving parts inside that compared to a traditional combustion engine. So even the repairs and stuff is very different. The way the car is. So sometimes even just fixing the car is a bit easier because there's less to work through if there's a problem. So there's also those aspects as well. Just that I wonder how many of the mechanics here are comfortable with EV vehicles right now.
But it's an opportunity,
which
right?
Is the only thing I would
so
say.
if I were government with all these promises they're making, look,
TVET and all.
I think our TVET should be, look, if I'm somebody who has a relationship with China, my first question would be, BYD, what can you do with us in Accra?
True.
Can you come and help train our guys in even assembling some of these EVs and repairing them? Okay, these are the things you expect your leaders to do, because BYD is now the number one producer of EVs in the world. They've produced like double what Tesla does at a cheaper rate.
And there's a unique opportunity for Ghanaian private sector to tap into that opportunity, because already the Ghanaians here who have that partnership dealership with Chinese companies, they could have that explore and then grow a whole industry here. But let me just stay.
Kilo, can I just add something to what he said about the climate change and sustainability and the people thinking about the emissions? It's not just emissions, because climate change, rising sea levels, so all our coastal areas, these tidal waves and things we are talking about, it's all part of climate change. We might not see it as such, but rising sea levels, we are talking, if you do your research, the coast, if you go to Jamestown, Dansoma, various places,
it's gone.
The beaches are going. They are eroding. People who have built next to the sea, your houses are endangered. This is all part of climate change. I know it's not something we can affect, but it's something we should be considering as part of climate change policy. How do we help people whose lives, property, and all of those things are going to be affected by rising sea levels? Caleb has mentioned rainfall with our farmers, because what's going to happen is there's going to be more extreme weather, more extreme rainfall.
That affects agriculture.
Everything.
So everything is linked.
Yeah,
everything is linked.
That climate change and sustainability.
So let me finish with Caleb on his side. Then I'll come to you, because I think you have one ministry you'll talk about briefly.
No, there. I'm not. We have. Don't worry, Panorama is coming.
Oh, okay. So you guys were rooting for somebody else, right?
Yeah, they want. So we'll be listening keenly to the vetting, and we'll give our thoughts
on sports. Okay.
Well, I'm looking forward to the minister talking about all the compacts we'll be signing globally, because a lot of the times when you look at the climate change conversation, it is led from the angle of international agreements that we have signed, and we hardly have engineered our own homegrown things. I mean, there must be papers and things like that available, but if they are often in shelves in universities and government offices. But there are basic things we can do. But our wetlands have been overtaken. We have encroached upon our wetlands, and we need to bring this climate change conversation down to children, to market women, to everyday people. It must be a part of our conversations we should be conscious about. For example, this weekend an event is going to happen at Pambros. It's I think Wildlife Society is organizing bird watching at Pambros.
Okay.
It's a wetland. It's one of the major surviving wetlands we have in Ghana.
Okay.
Now it has been massively encroached by the activities of industry people, residential areas, and then we are introducing pollutants into our wetland. Like I told you some time back, scientists are there whose job is basically to count the number of birds in these wetlands, and they use that to tell the ecological integrity of the wetlands. Basically, if your wetland is healthy, you have more birds moving. They will migrate from other parts of the world and move there. And the population of birds in our wetland, which Pambros being a major one, has reduced drastically over the years, because over the years people have discharge industrial waste, chemicals and all that into the wetland, and that means that there are not enough fishes and all that kind of
biodiversity
is suffering. So we need to be mindful about our wetlands. We need to jealously protect our forest cover, and we need to promote it. We need to have children care about the biodiversity that we have. We need to have innovative ways of introducing this through mass communication, through schools. All those things are important things that we need to be doing, and it will eventually increase the air quality we have, which has been dwindling over the years.
We'll take your comments on these matters shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, here's some exciting news. Omni Basic Bank, Ghana's fastest growing and coolest bank, has a new tagline, not just another bank. Yes, you heard right. Omni Basic Bank is now having a new tagline, not just another bank. We're redefining banking with a renewed commitment to making you, our cherished customer, the happiest person. This new era reinforces our resolve to be the bank of choice, where continuous innovation drives exceptional customer experience. Not just another bank means banking with confidence and excitement. Call 0307 086 000. Omni Basic Bank, not just another bank. Contact Royal Kingdom Estate for land at very, very good prices. We also have 2-bedroom and premium furnished apartments for rental in different parts of the city. Send us an email at info@the-Royal Kingdom Estate or call 055 755 5909.
Bernard, I always tell my friends, these are some comments. This is from Mr. Bright from Abokobi. I always tell my friends, the leader who is able to plan and solve our trotro mess in this country will be a leader who can solve all of Ghana's problems. Growing up, trotro used to carry 5 passengers per seat. Likewise, the Evans, they carried 4 passengers per seat. What happened before it was changed to 4 and 3 passengers respectively? Some leaders took the hard decision. As a matter of fact, I don't like this trotro thing. I really wish for the whole transport sector to be reformed. I think the electric buses can go a long way to help if it's patronized. The people controlling the transport sector can actually have a discussion with the minister and train their people to use the buses so that there would be good drivers, better manage bus stops and bus times instead of it always being about drivers rushing to be the first to pick a passenger, not to even talk of the discomfort in sitting in these trotros. If we're from Tishinumwara State, good morning, Mr. Avila. I'm following your discussion keenly about transportation. It should not be narrowed to buses only. We need intercity trains as well.
Thank you.
I think that was mentioned. Good morning, Bernardino and Co. Please, about the trotro, think of our roads. If even you get a new bus to run as trotro, within 2 weeks it will go to the shop. Where is the money to repair it? How much is the fare? Until our roads are good, we cannot do what you are saying.
We don't wait for perfect roads to change the quality of our buses. Even as I'm sitting here now, if you give me a better car, I'll take it, even though the road may not be the best. So we can do both at the same time. Well, today we have vetting, but we also have a few things to say to you on Finex Skills. You can get practical hands-on training in corporate and individual data analytics with Excel and Power BI, leveraging AI tools to help you improve productivity at the office. You can glean more insights from data and do it with some very powerful tools. Contact finexskillshub.com or call 0244 782 356 or visit our website finexskillshub.com to sign up for our corporate and individual training sessions.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse hand soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every use. Perfect for all your hand washing moments throughout the day. Available in a variety of variants and delightful flavors. Choose Cleanse for yourself, your family, and friends. Make Cleanse your daily essential. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. At Heritage Christian University, you are assured of quality education. We offer programs like Bachelor of Business Administration, Community Development and Theology, Theology and Ministry, Psychology, Nursing, Information Technology, Information Security, and Business Information Technology. Professional programs like ICA, CIMG, CIHRM, ABE. We also offer short courses on media and IT. What makes Heritage stand out is our experienced and scholar practitioner faculty, entrepreneurial training with financial support, ultra-modern facilities, and hostels. Qualifications for entry is WASI or SSC or GBCE, HND or Diploma Top-Up. Mature 25 years and above. Heritage is located at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium. Contact us on 054 777 7731 or 020 229 8399 or www.hcuc.edu.gh. Heritage Christian University, educating compassionate entrepreneur leaders. This new year, let your journey be worry-free. Renew or buy a brand new motor insurance policy with Provident Insurance from January to March 2025 and enjoy exciting rewards such as fuel coupons and exclusive Provident souvenirs. Need assistance? Chat with Obaya, our friendly WhatsApp assistant on 024-242-6396. She will sort you out, babya, anywhere, anytime, or visit any of our branches, agents, or brokers today. Provident Insurance, your reliable partner for 43 years, keeping you covered every mile of the way. Don't miss out on this special offer. Terms and conditions apply. With Provident, man, you're covered.
Provident, man, you're covered.
The Heritage Caravan 2025 is officially sold out. Thank you for your patronage. Now get ready for an unforgettable adventure with the Heritage Caravan 2025. We will experience a cultural revelation as we travel through 14 unique regions, each offering a deep dive into the nation's history, traditions, and natural beauty.
It's an opportunity to see Ghana in a more beautiful, and the people, the connection, incredible.
From Sunday the 2nd of March to Sunday the 9th of March 2025. Pack your bags and let's set off on the road trip of a lifetime with an unmatched opportunity to explore landmarks, taste authentic Ghanaian cuisine, experience the art, to network and to connect with the people who make Ghana truly special. This is more than a tour. It's a chance to experience the soul of Ghana, to witness its growth and to create lasting memories.
The places we visited, the road trip itself was awesome.
Everything was good, yes. Even the Bui Dam was very educational.
Follow all Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2025. The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority, with support from 97.3 Citi FM, and proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, Hollard Insurance, and Omnibasic Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you hoping to start university this January? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and up to 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless possibilities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our January 2025 intake. Apply now for our foundation program. For more information, contact us at +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
Hi Aku, I just got the estimate for the home repairs. It's more than we expected. I'm really stressed about where to find the money.
Why worry, Musa? You are a salaried worker. Haven't you heard about the GCB personal loan promo? They can give you up to 700,000 Ghana cedis in less than 24 hours at a significantly reduced interest rate and fees.
Really? This sounds exciting, but is it easy to apply?
Super easy. Skip the stress. Get the cash with the GCB personal loan promo with a 1-month repayment holiday. Just visit a GCB bank branch near you or call 0302 634 922. Toll free 0800 422 422. No hassle, no stress.
Wow, I just got a notification. The loan is already in my account. That was fast.
Skip the stress and get the cash you need with GCB personal loan. Visit a branch near you today. Terms and conditions apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Hey, Accra, are you dreaming of studying abroad? It's time to make that dream a reality and take the first step. This February, REF 2025 is coming to Accra. This is your opportunity to meet and connect with representatives from top international universities in the UK, USA, Canada, and other countries. Get expert advice on university applications, scholarships, visa policies, and all you need to study abroad with ease. Date, February 1st, 2025. Venue, Accra City Hotel. Time, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Register now at www.ief.ng to secure a spot.
Are you looking for an institution of higher learning to unlock your potentials? Look no further than Valley View University, Ghana's premier chartered private university. Valley View University offers undergraduate and postgraduate degree programs in the following areas: business administration, education, computer science, agriculture science, agribusiness, information technology, nursing, midwifery and mental health, and development studies. Join a community that shapes character and provides excellent education. Apply now by visiting www.admissions.vvu.edu.gh for an enriching educational experience. For enquiries, kindly call 050-970-3052 or 030-7011-846. Valley View University, excellence, integrity, and service.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
All right, so 3 minutes past 9, we'll bring you some Effective Living Series interview, very big one today with David Ofosu-Dotte, talking about what?
Local to global, how to transform your business from a local landscape to the global front. So that's what we are looking for.
Before we get into that, let's read.
Scale your business.
Wonderful. Before we do that, let's read a few final comments.
Lovely show this morning on the red light ticketing. How will the system give a ticket when the police still control traffic? You ask. You didn't add your name. You guys made a major point about our GPRTU. The owners do not want to lose their ownership and do not want government to tell them what to do. I stay at Medina, and every day at Zongo Junction, it is survival of the fittest. A macho man is at the bus stop controlling the cars that come and leave. When the bus for the government comes, they command the driver to move from Abokobi Center through. Bernard and team, good morning. In countries like ours, where most of the trotros are owned by policemen, military, big business tycoons who finance political parties, what you're suggesting will be difficult for any transport minister. Cronies have to benefit until there is a mindset overhaul and strong leadership. Let's wait and see. Lizzie from Nungwa send that through. Good morning, City team. I trust you're keeping well. Yes, we are. The challenge with the transport sector, GPRTU specifically and TOR, is because they were used as the appendages of the government in the 80s and 90s, so they've become an albatross to the government since. They have been holding government to ransom since then. It is for this reason that TOR is overstaffed, yet they have been left to die a natural death, hence the seemingly governmental neglect. And so Ni sent that from Bachona. Okay. Good morning, Bernard. Your idea of vehicle exchange to get rid of all these dangerous trotros is something I've personally thought of for years. Because of the nature of the cars available for Ho and Aplau, I always do STC. Secondly, for quite some time now, workers are always struggling to get vehicles to get to their destinations, especially in the evenings for those who ply longer routes, as a result paying extra. Joy from Dakman. Bernard, this is true. You will always see a lot of people in long queues in the evenings, and sometimes the places are poorly lit,
Circle, Achimota,
and there is litter all over the place. It's dark litter, and when it rains, it's really sad. Something must be done. Hi, Bernard. Your ideas on having improved trotro services are good, but I can tell you the present trotro transport unions and station leaders will sabotage it. The unions wield a lot of power. The best way to reduce that power is to improve our rail transport system. If we could have more than 70% of commuters using train instead of trotro, the power of the unions can be minimized and your ideas could be implemented. Kofi Ntema.
Thank you.
I'm enjoying this conversation concerning our transport situation. If our leaders are allegedly afraid of losing the GPRTU population in elections, then they are being short-sighted. They are not being innovative enough. Just study the data on death as a result of vehicular accidents every 4 years before elections and see if you are not losing more than the GPRTU population. Wow. Solution: God's intervention. When the reversal of the situation lies only in the cataclysmic occurring in the hearts of our leaders and citizens as well. God be with us. Have a wonderful day, guys. Benjamin in Ketia. Okay. Good morning, Bernard and team. We can finance our economy if we own our resources. In a country where all the natural resources in the country belongs to the people, yet the central bank buys gold, shouldn't our conscience be examined? George from Airport City. But on Monday, when we're talking about how filthy Accra is and how other cities in the sub-region or on the continent are doing, someone said, "Oh, we are just talking too much. The examples we are citing are out of our reach." And I asked people to watch Beyond Borders last night. We took Boda from Kilimani to the Akantamanto. I think next week you will see the Central Business District of Nairobi. If that doesn't upset you and make you want us to do better, I wouldn't know. But Godfred might know better about how their matatus work, because generally if you compare the matatus to our trotro, the quality of the buses are better than ours. It's just a bit more loud. It's too loud for my liking. It's very boisterous. It's very, very loud. But generally, when we sat in one, I felt it was better.
Yes.
It was much better. I don't know how they did it.
Well, we have to just keep improving and pushing the envelope, shouldn't we? We'll be back with more. Let's take you into Effective Living series where David Ofosudote speaks to Apioko Seram Ashong Abe on moving your business from local to global. After that, we jump into the vettings for today, which promises to be very exciting. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
You're welcome to the Effective Living series right here on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. My name is Apioko. We're in week 4 of the Effective Living series 2025, where we've been speaking about resetting business, resetting your business, that business that you've poured your blood, your sweat, and your toil into. And there's 3 R's that I need you to remember. You're either recalibrating, remodeling, or rebuilding your business this year. So recalibrate, remodel, rebuild. All right. Now, today in particular, we're talking about how to scale your business from local to global. Okay. So from local to global, how to scale your business. Perhaps you've been operating for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and you thought, you know what? I think it's time to scale. I want to tap into a market beyond Ghana. This is a conversation for you. Now, as I like to say, I am not the expert here. I do have a guest. Mr. David Ofosudote is the senior partner at AB and David Africa, and he's a perfect person for that. I like to call him the crystal ball guy, and he'll tell you why when we come back from a break. But don't forget that the Effective Living Series 2025 is proudly sponsored by Hallmark Cafe, and Hallmark Cafe has a very simple message for you. There's delight in every sip and bite. So let's go for a break, and then we'll come back and get into our conversation. This is still the Effective Living series right here on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. My name is Apioko. If you're just joining us, this week during the Effective Living series, we've been talking about business, resetting business. And you were saying that in 2025, you're either going to recalibrate, remodel, or rebuild your business. Now, today in particular, we're looking at how you can move from local to global, how to scale your business. How do you do that? Where do you begin? What should you consider if you want to scale your business beyond the borders of Ghana? Now, my guest today is someone who really understands this topic, and he's ready for you. David Ofusidote is a senior partner at ABN David Africa. Hi, David.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Good. I'm well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Thank you. So we're talking about business. In fact, the whole month we were talking about resetting, and we've spoken about resetting the individual, the mindset. We've spoken about resetting your health, resetting your family, everything reset. This week we're on business. And I know a lot of people have said, that this is my year. I'm going to scale my business. I'm going global. I'm taking the world by storm. But my first question for you is, when it comes to going global, is that always the right decision for a business owner in the first place?
I think for me, I look at going global from 4 separate angles, and you need to take a look at it and see where you fit as a business. First, there are some businesses that need not go global at all, or whose founder, who managers don't think they should go global. So that category of businesses, by their very nature, need not go global and need not worry about it. So I'll put those ones aside.
Okay.
But for that, the ones which have to quote and unquote go global, I'll look at them in 3 categories. That makes the 4. The first one is the group who are not necessarily interested in going global, but they must have a global perspective in everything they do.
Okay.
So either the managers or the founders or the staff must have some global perspective. So let's take a look at, let's say, Channel 1 TV. By the very nature of your business, you must have a global perspective, because the reports you make must have some global stint to it.
Right.
And then aside that, at times the product the business sells, and it's not only services, must be calibrated, to use your words, in a way that fits the global context. So, for example, if you were selling water, and it doesn't meet the necessary pH level of WHO or the global standards, if somebody comes in here and he's drinking it, it's not going to meet the standard. So it's a global perspective without necessarily going global.
Okay.
Now, the second category of those who fit the global context are those who want to sell to global clients without necessarily having presence across the globe. So somebody may want to sell his product outside. He doesn't want to have a presence across the globe. It's still a global business. It goes beyond the mindset of fitting your products to global context, but to consciously sell. There are quite a lot of young people these days, and not just the young, those who are in the fashion business, who are selling across the globe. Just people see them on IG, and their businesses are instantly global by the very nature of how they sell. So they are global both in terms of what they finish and how they finish their products and the client that they attract. So they must have a significant amount of global mind share. The last category that we tend to refer to as global, but they are not the only global businesses, are those who take the step to set up offices and factories and franchises across the globe. So I'm sure those are the ones that majority of people tend to call global. If you fall in that category or in any of the categories I've talked about, there are different steps you need to take. Well, let me just, before maybe you come into your next question, let me deal with the last category. If you are the leader, founder or manager, you must have a life. And unless your life is aligned to the business, you have a problem. Because some people go global for the sake of going global without seeing the context and the challenges of their personal life as they go global. And I tell you, if you don't want to wake up at 2 a.m. in the night looking at the ceiling and thinking about what's happening in another country, don't go global. Don't bother about it, because you have to worry about what is going on elsewhere. So the way you like to lead your life, the things you enjoy, must be in a way aligned to your decision to go global. And if you make that decision, then we can deal with the steps as to how to go global, and we can get into that. Yeah.
No, that's very interesting. So you're saying that you've given us 4 categories of businesses, individuals in businesses when it comes to the global mindset, going global. And you pointed out that most of the time we're thinking of those who want to set up offices, brick and mortar, in other countries beyond the home country. But then you've highlighted the digital. Young people are selling, marketing their products and services all over the world. Meanwhile, they are not even traveling beyond Ghana just because they've set up themselves on social media, and they're also meeting the standards that the global market needs. And then you have those who, Channel One, a good example, by virtue of what we do, you need to think global, even if you don't intend to go and have a radio station, a TV station elsewhere, right? And then the person who doesn't want to wake up in the middle of the night, doesn't want to be communicating with China or the US or whoever it is.
But there's a reason why the category 2 person need to also be consciously mindful about the impact of the global presence. Just because, and I give the Channel 2 as Channel 1 example, or just because of the products you sell, because that other reason for the likes of Channel 1 when others want to expand, you may be a target market. Absolutely. They may want to team up with you, and then you become instantly global without you necessarily having to have taken the step. So you become part of a global enterprise. I was just speaking on my way here to a client who set up a business in Ghana, became part of a franchise holder for a German company, and the Germans thought he was doing so well, give him West Africa and invite him to become a shareholder in the German company. And this morning he was speaking to me about expanding across West Africa on behalf of the global entity. He is global already. It is because he structured the business to have a global appeal. So the globalization need not be when you are only taking the step. It can be the reverse.
Very, very interesting. So let me ask you this question. You have worked with so many businesses over the years. Do you have any experience with some cases where the people just focused on this global? Because for some people, it's a fad. It's fashionable. It's a trend. I want to go global, you know? And they focus so much on that they began to lose local dominance. Do you have examples like that?
There are many examples like that. And again, which is why I said, align your personal life to whether you want to go global or not. Not everybody needs to go global. If you... I operate across the continent, and I have to travel quite a lot across the continent. I mean, if you are not the type of person who want to travel around Africa with all the challenges that it faces, why do you want to do that? Do you understand? If you are not the type of person who want to interact with people who speak different languages, have different culture, eat different foods across the continent, then you are going to have that challenge. So don't go for it just because it gives you fame and somebody will put you on Channel 1 TV and say you are going global and that is why you want to go global. Do it for the love of it, and that's what I do. Okay, so there are people like that and they're having challenges. I said their life is not aligned to what they are doing, and for an effective living, you need to align the two. But if you love it and there's a reason why you must do it, and what is the reason? The reason could be because you want to capture bigger markets, you want to have a bigger mind share, or you just want to grow and you love growing. If that's what it is and you're doing it, then you need to now appreciate the steps, because people miss the steps. For example, I highly recommend the step of upskill, upgrade before you upskill, before you think of global. If you can't go through these 4 steps, you will just go global and then it will become a big failure. You might as well have stayed local. Upskill means making sure that the skills of whatever you are selling, if it's services, or the skills by which your staff sell the products, if it is products, is so upgraded that it can meet global standards. Upgrade the product itself. If it's Ghana standards or authorities, grades are international in nature, they fit Africa Standards Organization, then you are upgrading. Then upskill has its mechanisms. If there's a difference between incremental and exponential, and we can come to that as we go along. So let me pause on upskill for now. And then in your upskill, you now determine whether your upskill is limited to Ghana, regional, Africa, or across the continents, which makes you global. There are some enterprises who want to only bother about waking up in the morning and going to a shop That's okay. It doesn't matter how much you upskill or upgrade. That's where you want to be. But if you want to upskill, then you are thinking, how many branches do I have? I'm helping one of our clients who is into the fast-moving consumer good business, think global, and I've been constantly pumping into her head that she's a billionaire in waiting. I mean, the skills of creating product lines that make you multiply 2,000 branches can make you a billionaire even in your old country. So it all depends on what it is that you want to do and what you are prepared for. What is it that you are ready to sacrifice? Because, again, let me go back. If you are not ready to wake up at 2 a.m., really, that's not the kind of thing for you to be doing.
David, let's go for a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk more about this local to global thing. And really, David has already dropped so many nuggets, and I hope people are taking notes. We'll be right back.
This is your chance to be served by a robot at Accra's premier destination for fine dining, Hallmark Cafe, located in Jowolu, just after the Allied filling station. It's the perfect spot for delectable pastries, desserts, hot and cold beverages, as well as a variety of continental and local dishes to satisfy your cravings. Enjoy convenient staff lunch services, expert kitchen management, and outdoor event hosting. Here, simply press a button and your waitress will be at your table in no time. Visit Hallmark Cafe today and experience the future of fine dining. Call us now at 053-7344-095 to make your reservation. Hallmark Cafe. Delight in every sip and bite.
Welcome back. This is still the Effective Living series right here on 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. My name is Apioko. Today we're talking about local to global, how to scale your business. And my guest, David Ofosu-Dorte, who is a senior partner with AB and David Africa, is really giving us this is like free consultancy, right? So you need to pay attention. And before we went on that break, David, you sort of led us into this, in talking about the sacrifice that you should be willing to make if you really want to go global. You've outlined several categories. For those who missed that, the different categories of being global as a business, you can go back to our YouTube channel on Channel 1 TV and then get the information there. There'll be playbacks on radio and TV as well. So I'm not going to let us rehash it. But David, you said one key sacrifice for the individual who is even at the center of the business may even be losing sleep. It may mean traveling around the continent like you do. I mean, we're lucky to have you here today because you, David, you're all over the world, all over the continent, and finding you, pinning you down can be difficult sometimes, even though there are virtual options now and all that. But beyond that, what are some of the sacrifices that, somebody, a business that decides, look, this year I'm going global, may have to look at going through?
So first, whoever is championing the global agenda must again understand how that fits into his or her life. And let me just take travel as an example. If you are a husband and you have kids and a wife, and it's difficult for you to pick your bag and jump on a plane without creating problems at home, you have a challenge. And vice versa, if it's a wife, it's the same kind of thing. So those personal sacrifices are very important. Your health, a number of things so that's one. The second one is the staff. You definitely have a team. How does the team understand and buy into the global agenda? And to what extent are they fitting into that global agenda? I was once in New Zealand. That means 11 hours ahead of Ghana. And if you have to have a meeting with your team in Ghana, you know what time to wake up. or you deal with a client in Singapore, and how to make sure that at the time that the instruction is being given, somebody is available to listen to it or deliver the product or service for that matter. That's another thing that you need to look at. So those are the non-financial costs, because we tend to focus on the cost. Before I come to the financial cost, I always make this point. If you are going global and the only thing that is driving your global agenda is money, you might as well not do it. And that is why many people, when it comes to scaling, start complaining about lack of money. If lack of money is the reason why you cannot scale, don't bother, because if you get money, you cannot scale. So having settled on those things, then the question comes to the financial cost of it. What does it take to actually go global? Can you afford it? Does it mean losing local custom? Is it possible to do it without incurring that financial cost? I mean, I have a call just this afternoon of somebody who is looking at, teaming up on a global agenda. And when I look at the cost of it, I told the client, are you prepared to make this cost? If you think you can make this financial cost, so be it. So the finance is very important. And how long does it take for you to earn back that money that you put in? But the earning of that money also depends on the ability of wherever you are going to be able to, as it were, patronize your custom. So you factor all those into it and look at whether or not you are prepared to make those sacrifices. Then that determines whether you make the move or not.
So how do you determine the pace of scaling? Because for some people, they want to go very fast, some people may make the decision today but may not realize that they need a long-term, maybe a 2-year, 3-year plan to even get to really where they want to go. How do you determine the pace at which you should move?
Okay, so let's deal first with those I've indicated are instantly global. If you are instantly global just because you sell online on IG, you are global. In terms of the pace, it's instant. You can actually, but you have to save yourself the trouble. The worst thing you can do for yourself is to sell any product or service for somebody to come back and say, this is bad. It badmouths you. No amount of advert can save you because it tells 10 other people. So if you are in that category, before you go global, it is safer to tell somebody, we don't sell in this market at the moment. Until you can upgrade your products and upskill your team to the extent that you can sell in that market. I know someone, young lady, who actually sells a lot of products across the globe, and every one of those products are made here. And it's fine. Now, so that's one. Then once you've determined that you can go, you have to distinguish between incremental growth and exponential growth. In my view, you are better off growing incrementally first before exponential. So, for example, if you are opening physical branches and you are in Accra and you can have 2-3 shops and you don't have 2-3 shops in Accra, how are you managing the fact that somebody can steal money from the other shop? Or somebody will put his or her own products in that shop instead of yours? If you haven't learned that skill, why do you want to go to Zambia or Uganda? Because it's a much bigger challenge that you will have. So if you grow organically or incrementally around you, it makes it easier when you are going bigger scale. Once you've learned those lessons, at times you go exponential in the sense that you can then team up with another group across the globe, in which case you become larger, for want of a better word, almost instantly. Then you will have solved a lot of problems and all that. So it all depends on what you use. I think there is what method you use. I think there is also some misconception that I find a lot when I talk to people about going global. Many people tend to think you go global by necessarily having physical presence. Now, you can actually collaborate with others and you franchise and then you go global. Or they just distribute your products without you having physical presence there. It's still also global.
So you need to determine what works for your business model, your product or your service. And then also look at whether you have grown organically or as you say, incrementally to address certain challenges.
Never go global until you have, in my view, until you have first tested your local market. I spoke to a gentleman and I asked, why do you have one branch? I would have been very happy if he said, I'd like to have one branch. It's okay. It doesn't. No, not everybody has to go big. But he said they will steal my money, and I said if that's the only reason you are not having branches, you have a problem.
You have a problem
because people will steal your money, all right, but you need to learn how they will not steal your money. Those guys who are so-called global giants had to overcome that problem. So we need to overcome those problems.
Of course. Let's talk about what I like to call the silent competitors. You know, we are thinking of competition. I think of other businesses that may sell a similar product, produce a similar product, have a similar service. But are there other things within industry, consumer behavior, that a business owner should be thinking about apart from just, the next person also does dried fruits and is selling them?
It depends on the business leader's mindset. And let me group business leaders when it comes to competition into two.
Okay.
I tend to belong to the second category generally. But the first category are those who compete.
Okay.
If you compete, you have three choices. You can compete properly in a very competitive, what they call the red ocean world, in which case you actually are looking at your neighbor and underpricing and out-marketing
almost
them.
Every choice you make is dependent on what your neighbor or your competitor is doing.
Yeah. Okay. You can do what is called co-compete.
Okay.
Co-compete simply means you are competitors, all right, but then you can work together. I mean, of late, as many people use what has become known as the third category, what they say, market collaboration is the new marketing. So they come across. In fact, at the Crystal Ball event just last Thursday, we had a session called the Partnership of Rivals, where the argument we made to those who want to upscale is that rivals, especially across the continent, can collaborate and partner to be able to deliver big products. So these all belong to what I call the competition model. And there are those who belong to the second model, what I call the innovation model. I believe that in every business, there are enough unoccupied spaces for you to be able to occupy. Now, your method is to innovate, is to find out what else is nobody doing that you can innovate and do. And if you look across the globe, there are some things that it doesn't matter how packed and busy and bloody the competition is, nobody else is doing. They may be doing something, but you can tweak it a little. That changes it. As somebody said in a book, both bread and meat were around for a very long time until somebody said 1,000 years ago, let's cut the bread into two and put in meat and become sandwich. So you can always innovate. And if you innovate and occupy unoccupied spaces, you can go global in spaces that nobody else is competing. Competition will always catch up with you, there's no doubt about that. But if you are innovative enough, you always move a step ahead when the others are catching up.
So my final question, when it comes to, a lot more brands are shifting towards storytelling to capture the mind, like you're saying. What's your take on that?
Well, if storytelling is how they brand themselves, that is fine. I mean, as you and I know, brand is not necessarily tangible. Right. It's in the mind. It's the extent to which you are able to occupy the mind of the person to whom you are targeting. If the storytelling occupies that mind for you, it's fine. But remember, occupying the mind doesn't necessarily give you a customer.
Right.
If the customer remembers you only about jokes, then he may not necessarily buy your product. You are a joker in his mind, right? So your story should be told, if storytelling is your brand approach, should be told in a manner that reminds the customer when he makes the decision to buy that you are the person to buy from, or this is a product to buy from. Because remember, as you tell your story, somebody else is telling the story. And if, for example, you are buying online, you go on YouTube, 3 or 4 products are appealing to you at the same time. What makes the customer decide on which one? Storytelling to me is just one of the many things you need to do in order to be able to.
What are a couple of key other things that you need to do if you want to make sure you capture the minds of your potential clients?
Again, everything is context specific. In my view, you must be very customer centric. That for me is the most important thing. Customer centricity means that every single thing you do about your product or service is designed with the customer in mind. If you do that, it helps you. Now, this is a very difficult thing to do. It looks very simple. The ability to think from how the customer will think is very, very difficult. So you have to assume that you were the customer. What do you want? That's one. The other thing that you must remember is that customers don't necessarily always know what they want. As Ford said, if he had asked his customers, they would have told him they wanted faster horses instead of a car. So you arrive at that through two angles. First is what the customer wants from the customer's angle, and feel free to ask them. Two is what it is that you can do to make the customer feel better, even if the customer doesn't want that. If you look at this from these two angles, it doesn't matter whether it's services or physical products, you can always deliver something that entices the customer. There's a very important reason why. The human nature, by the way it's wired, is constantly looking for that which is better. And that is the reason why there is a principle that never allow the best to be the enemy of better. And let me explain why. Because it doesn't matter how perfect your product is. If somebody comes to the market with something better, the person is going to go for that. The customer is going to go for that which is better. So if you have something that is better than what is available, go right ahead and constantly try to improve it from the customer perspective. That's what I mean by customer centricity.
Constantly try to improve your product or your service from the customer's perspective. Being customer centric. David, thank you. We need to bring you back because we haven't even fully exhausted this topic. I know there's so much that you have to share, but we'll have to wrap it up for now. David Ofusudote is a senior partner with AB and David Africa. We've been talking about local to global, how to scale your business, and David has outlined many things. I'm sure that a lot of you who are listening who thought, I didn't even realize my business is already global, just by virtue of the fact that I'm selling on IG or on TikTok, and people are already asking me to ship my product to them or engaging me for my skills from wherever they are. And so he's given us a lot to think about, but bottom line, you need to be customer centric. I think that's a big takeaway from what he said. Customer centric. And that means that if your customer doesn't necessarily even need you to go global, then this conversation is not for you. If he or she does, then you need to figure out which category of a business owner you are and then start working towards that to be able to scale your business in that direction. My name is Apioko. This is Effective Living series sponsored by Hallmark Cafe. And let me tell you, there's delight in every sip and bite with Hallmark.
Everywhere I go, everywhere that I've been, the only thing I see is beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people. Oh, don't you know, don't you know? Oh, you're beautiful, don't you know? Oh, don't you know, don't you know? Oh, beautiful, don't you know? No, live your life, live your life.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Adamo Quoto, electric current. And no, yes, it's you, girl. Nasemedi, makumeni na mawa, na wewe kono kaya, boa unsuwa, na umobisunsuwa, enye na meye, me Michael Johnson, ooh girl, ooh oh, and know the America, ooh girl, ooh oh, and know the America, girl.
Sinu yeni je encourage nenya enu die min peo ye for aye di uchinchia encourage na ya gawashe dem enu yes see oh boy na semi yeah was it tenyi na mawa na usu yeah uhonka sanova ene ajua china akosia.
A quarter to the top of the hour, and Heritage Caravan 2025 is officially sold out. Thank you for your patronage. Now let's get ready for the road trip of a lifetime to discover Ghana from Sunday 2nd March to Sunday 9th March 2025. Pack your bags and let's set off on this spectacular tour for 8 exciting days through 14 incredible regions of Ghana, with a promise of a rich cultural experience, introspective historical visitations, and exhilarating field days with nature. This is more than a tour. It's a chance to experience the soul of Ghana, to witness its growth and to create lasting memories. Follow all Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates and with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2025. The Heritage Caravan 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority, with support from 97.3 Citi FM, proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, NLA, Pollard Insurance, Omni Basic Bank, and Girl PLC. Terms and conditions apply. And some dedications that have come through. Good morning, City CBS. I would like to wish a happy birthday to David Asiedu of David Asiedu Naspa PRO for Katamanso Municipal. The good Lord bless him greatly, from Godson Tenge, former Naspa president for Katamanso Municipal. Good morning, Team City. Please wish my dad and my big sister a happy birthday, Mr. Joseph Kofi Anakpa, and his daughter Love Jiajom. Long life and good health, I pray for them, from Makafi Anakpa. Happy birthday on that year, Hari Shegun Alawiyi. You're an amazing brother. God bless you. This is from Odadie Sojot. Good morning. I want to wish my son Joseph Jaden Ni Ankra a happy birthday. May God make him great in his generation, from Dad Alfred Ni Okanta Ankra of the Audit Service. This one says, I want to wish my mom and best friend a happy birthday. Tina, we wish you the best in life and we pray for God's goodness. Continue being amazing. We love you. Cheers to greater heights from the whole family. To Tina. 5 years ago today, you were born and you give us the happiest moments of our lives. We always wanted a baby girl like you, and we are blessed that God had us. Lots of love to you. Happy 5th birthday, my baby Kayla, from Mom and Daddy and the entire family. To some of your comments that have come through, the difference between the matatus and our trotros is standards. We don't have standards for our trotro. You didn't add your name. Oh, this sounds like Johnny Drill. Spending, I believe. Please, when we talk about transport, let's consider maritime transport too. We've not exploited our blue economy well enough as coastal states. Multimodal transport encompasses the rail and road for land and the air and the sea. We need to explore using ferry boats to travel from Accra to Kaswa through Nyanya, Nosenya, Winneba, Mori, Cape Coast, Takrade, and to Axim by sea, and exploit same possibilities on the Volta Lake with Akosombo as the split hub to Accra and to the plains up north. Richard KB, a year from Kaswa. Thank you on that.
Even it's not something we talk about, but on the Volta Lake, it's very common for people to use boats because there's a lot of islands. There's places roads don't go.
That's correct.
If you remember, a few years ago, I want to say some kids drowned because they were going to school on a boat and the boat capsized.
They didn't have life jackets and all of that.
I think it's very common in places as a necessity, but here in Accra we have our roads and everything. It's not something we use. So I think the coast we should add to it for sure.
Absolutely.
But I guess on the Volta Lake and around and in certain communities in rural areas, it's a lot more common, but it's not developed. The boats are not very, like you said, they're using canoes, no life jackets, those type of things. So those are some of the things we should really work on.
I remember the North Dye Member of Parliament, Roxy Nelson Dafiamakpo, was putting that question to one of the ministers designate about his constituents living in some remote areas that are islands, requiring that they move by canoes and all of that, and the dangers that are involved in it. That's true. I think we mentioned the transport by water, but of course we didn't spend as much time on that. He is suggesting that we should have transport by water from Accra to Kaswa, Nyenya, Senya, Winneba.
A lot of people are now doing Accra, Cape Coast, Accra,
a lot of the time by road.
And if you think about it, the road is pretty, because it's a long road, and we know what we say about roads, especially at night. Water transport might actually be a solid solution. It might make people more willing to make that trip.
So, Honorable Minister Designate for Transport, we are looking forward to your vetting. Your sector is a very key one that's dear to the economy of Ghana, and obviously from all the conversations and messages that have come through so far, you would know that it's very, very dear to Ghanaians as well. So we are looking forward to the answers and the perspective you are bringing to the Transport Ministry. This one says renewable energy has to be made cheaper. I went to a bank in Ghana to look at upgrading my solar system at home from a backup system to fully solar. Interest on renewable energy. You can decide not to mention the bank. Okay. Yes, I won't. You are saying that it was more than 24% APR. How can we grow and transform to renewable energy at these interest rates? 24%, that's a lot. Thanks for sending that message through. Good morning, Bernard and team. I am sitting in a trotro from Adenta to Accra. We're all enjoying your conversation on a reform on our transportation in Ghana. The trotro driver is annoyed, decided to change the channel. It's working. You guys should continue. Can you imagine? And this is the opposition you talked about. This is the opposition you talked about earlier. Church driver, no, he changed the channel.
He said we're asking too many
no, but he doesn't want the morning buses we are talking about.
That is on to him.
Oh, Charlie.
Zabudenche.
Don't do this. Good morning, brother and team. The issue of use of overaged vehicles should be looked at in the eye of climate change and air quality. That's so true. Do you know most of the Trotro Sprinter buses are over 15 years and the latest model is 1999? Do you know air pollutants accumulate significantly in portions of the Trotro and the best places to sit is the front seat? These are outcomes of my research on in-vehicle air pollutants in Accra. We really need to be serious as a country. Brahma, I'll take your message again. So you're saying most Trotro Sprinter buses are over 15 years. The latest model is 1999, and air pollutants accumulate significantly in portions of the Trotro, and the best place to sit is the front seat. These are outcomes of my research on in-vehicle air pollutants. It's crazy. Even the front seat, depending on the type of Trotro you sit in, that place can be so hot. By the time you disembark, you feel your members are boiled.
You know, I didn't get the chance to talk, but the air quality in Accra is something that's really been bothering me.
Yes.
I personally drive with my windows up because there's a lot. The air quality,
there's a fumes overwhelming.
And also the amount of waste in terms of human waste that's out there and is in the air. It's dangerous. There's disease. There's
you'll be driving and some black thing will just come across your windscreen. You think it's a bed. It's a flying poly bag. Made up of all kinds of all kinds of places.
You know what's been in the bag.
My
so you
lord.
don't want it to enter your car.
My lord.
So that I really wish the environment minister, they'll ask them some very good questions, because for me, I'm not even thinking about the technology side, the environment, how we treat our environment, the way we interact with our shared spaces, because these are shared spaces.
True.
So the degradation of the environment, when you are throwing trash, you are not just throwing your trash, you are now affecting everyone else. The sanitation issues we talk about, those are environmental issues.
True.
Because plastic waste, what are we going to do about plastic waste?
It's a big deal.
Because we've been talking about a lot of countries that don't use single-use plastics. When you go to the shops in the UK, they charge you for the plastic bags.
They do.
So by charging you, they're incentivizing you to bring your own and reuse. So a lot of people have all these drawers full of plastic bags, so they are bringing to their store, so you are not paying extra. That's how you keep them off the streets. Because once people know you have to pay for it, it changes their mindsets. Now that we are getting it free with everything, no one is thinking that, this is something I can keep, I'll just throw it away. So we really need to rethink the way we talk about the environment.
And our attitude towards the environment too is really not the best. I keep saying that creation care is self-care. Creation care is self-care. If you care for the water bodies that run through your neighborhood, you are basically caring for yourself. If you make sure that people do not release or discharge their household sewer into the water bodies that flow through your neighborhood, you are protecting yourself against mosquitoes and all kinds of infections. And there will be fishes. It will be healthy.
As you mentioned, the water bodies in our residential areas, when the plastic blocks it and becomes stagnant, that's the mosquito. Is running water mosquitoes don't breed in running
and the
water.
next moment it rains, it's going to, your property is going to get flooded.
Exactly. So
you know,
risking malaria, all sorts of things. So the environment, I think citizens need to do better, but there also needs to be policy. There also needs to be consequence. There needs to be government direction.
Absolutely.
Without those things, it doesn't matter if everybody does their best. If the system doesn't work, there's nothing you can do to fix the system.
Yeah.
People don't make systems work just by working.
No.
The system has to work from the
there
top
should be
and
social
the bottom.
programming.
Exactly.
And so we need to do this with using education, trying to fix the culture of the people, the mindset and attitude of the people towards cleanliness and litter. In fact, one of the things I'm really expecting, this should be within the purview of the Ministry of Local Government, that we return to the periodic communal cleaning, where we'll not just clean the silt our gutters and leave the silt on the edges of the gutters. It rains and the silt goes back in there, and leave the thing over there.
Caleb, the only reason I would disagree with you is we pay these sanitation companies a lot of money.
That should continue.
To do their
that
job.
should continue.
So I don't see why we should have communal. And the reason
that should continue by
it's
every
allowing
account.
them to kind of escape,
renege on their responsibilities.
Exactly,
what I'm saying is that, look, I mean, when it comes to picking our refuse and all of that, we pay the sanitation companies to do that. I don't know whether we pay them to desilt our gutters. I don't know whether we pay them to clear the bushes around our homes.
Okay, maybe that's a different.
In some of our shared spaces.
Even some like you see some of these like cleaning companies, they have prisoners coming to sweep their streets and stuff, and they leave it there. They are being paid to do that because there's no way that someone has been able to get a bus to go to a prison and pick people for them to come and be working on our streets, because you see them with their prison guard working with them. Someone has to have authorized that for them to come and clean. Someone is being paid, because that's a process to allow prisoners to be released, taken from prison, to come into town. There's a prison guard working with them to clean. Someone has authorized that. So why is that they will sweep and leave it? You get what I'm saying? So I feel like someone is being charged to that. Someone's been asked to do that. So why is it that citizens have to get involved? Don't get me wrong. If there's no kind of provision for that, I understand. I think we're at a point where we are paying money, good money, taxes, to these people to do that work. So I don't feel like why someone should also wake up on Saturday after paying their taxes. So you pay your tax so you can sleep on Saturday. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get you. Well, that's a good point. I just feel that we have communal societies, and we can build on that, use that communal connections we have to channel that communal connections we have into having a more cleaner society. And we should all take responsibility for that, whilst we insist that those we pay, the agencies we pay to pick up our refuse, do so. And the other mindset shift we need is this thing where Ghanaians will litter bus stations, they will litter everywhere they meet, sit down to meet, and they will tell you that, oh, so and so will come and clean up after us. That is one aspect of our psyche that I really, really hope that we can change. And I hope that this government and the municipal authorities will use the tools of the media to keep communicating, keep engaging about the essence of cleanliness. I mean, it's not a touch and go thing, it's an everyday thing. And once the society is not clean, everyone feels it, everyone smells it, everyone sees it. So we need to be on this every other time. How did communities, societies ban chewing gum and all of that? People have made it. There's been a transition, and I think that when we explore things that way, we'll be able to do it. We don't have all the answers, and we can't have it all said in a day, but thank you for being a part of the show. Someone says okay, that we is the top of the hour, but you say one area I also want to know some George's thoughts on is about his plans on strengthening data protection. Boachi from Mamprobi sending in his comment on his expectations of the planned vetting for Samuel George, Minister Designate for Communication. Zoe Abubeido is in the studio. She has more details on some of the appointees who will be appearing before the vetting committee. So you are bringing us news. Also,
you should ask what's the news.
Sorry, I am imposing what I think should be the news point, but I am very sure that it will be something that will disrupt now Yokote's class this morning. So she will be underemployed today too.
No comments. No comments at all.
Good morning, Zoe.
Good morning, Caleb. Coming up, National Insurance Commission suspends implementation of a 10% increase